fair.
How'd that work out?
Assault on the fair. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody went.
Matthew make it home alive?
Actually, we didn't lose him once.
Oh, wow.
I believe
That's
we
amazing.
broke several physical laws. I don't even think it's possible not to lose Matthew over the course of several hours.
Did you have to buy a leash?
No leash.
Cage? Put him in a cage?
I was very attentive to him, and I don't know whether the ages of the rest of the children or I don't know what was different about this time at the fair.
I think that the Biegel gene automatically comes with an extra DNA of responsibility. You just strike me as a very responsible, conscientious person, and I think that's inherent. Is that not right, Bonnie? It's just inherent in the Biegel gene.
It just emits.
Right.
You emit responsibility.
I hate to say this, but I have lost Matthew many times. We had to install locks on our front doors.
Oh, one of those kids.
Yeah, where he would just, we're like, okay, what time is it? It's 10 p.m. Where's Matthew? And he would just let himself out and just wander into the neighborhood. I mean, so we had to install locks on the doors. So it's not like he's not trying to play along. But we did a good job. I did a really good job yesterday. I was proud of myself.
He's just a free spirit.
No, he's devious.
So what motivates him to get off the grid and the path?
I would imagine, and I don't have this, so I have to guess that that he doesn't really like the rules. He looks at the way people are trying things and says,
"Oh, I like this.
I'm gonna try it a little different way. I see you people think you're pretty sharp and
maybe
clever."
My kid.
Yeah, he may actually he may be just like you, but I don't get him at all. He's broken things we never thought could be broken. He's done things at home. I mean,
so it's more than just exploring.
Oh yeah,
he wants to break things because
and a lot of times, honestly, a lot of times he'll think he's fixing things. He'll take doors off.
Okay.
He'll take the handles off your door. He took apart a TV console.
Okay, so his intent is good.
I'm not sure that's necessary. He's poured out fingernail polish on new carpet. We had it installed 4 hours. Somehow one of the girls left fingernail polish. Never done that before. We've never even seen this kind of activity.
How old was he when he did that?
I think he was 3.
Well,
he almost didn't make it to 4.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was. He's done crazy stuff right on.
Well, he's a very happy child.
Yeah.
He's very active. He's a fun kid to be around.
Oh yeah. Well, we don't care about our stuff honestly all that much, and we know that he's going to be great. He is going to be fantastic. But some of those things are pretty hard to get over. Yeah.
Why do you think it took? He was number 8.
Yes.
Why do you think it took number 8 to get that type of a child?
Well, no, I'm not saying that's the only one. Like one time we were driving from here down to Seward, and I won't say which child it was, but we look back. There's a strange sound in the car that we have not heard before, and we can't really figure it out. My wife and I are up front. We're talking about things. We hear this kind of a crunching sound. We're not sure what it is. I look back, and one of my children is chewing on the door.
Matthew.
Actually, no, it's not Matthew, but it's chewing bite marks into the door of a car we've just purchased.
Oh.
And there's no way to fix this. The door is literally ruined because
which child was eating your car?
We can't say.
It's
Matthew,
probably a girl then.
It was a girl. It was a girl.
And she said, "Don't ever tell anybody, Daddy, I tried to eat the car."
Yeah, she was actually eating the car. We'd never seen anything like it. So she's not I mean, Matthew's not the only one. You'll find out that every child you have is completely different in every possible way than every other child.
They come from
even if you have 9 children.
They come from good stock because your wife is just a wonderful, caring, intelligent gal. She's just an amazing woman. You are Mr. Responsible. You look up the word responsible in the dictionary. There's a big old picture of Glenn there. So they all come from great stock. It's not like my kids. Oh my Lord, I can't imagine what would be wrong with them. So I think it's interesting that you have kids who are such, in many ways different. Like Matthew's very different than you.
Oh yeah, and he's he's different than me. He's different than Gregory. He's different than Thomas. Every one of my kids, you'd look.
Thomas
at him,
is your clone.
Thomas is
not
my
only
clone.
physically, but
His
every other
hair.
way.
Yes.
Very cerebral,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Not overly emotional, quiet.
Yeah. He was an entire year, I think, ahead in math. He just decided, look, I'm a little bored. I'm gonna keep doing my math lessons over and over and over again. So he
Wow.
went like a year ahead in math. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the kind of thing that I would have done.
And
Ambitious.
you were real good in math.
Yeah, I was a couple of years ahead.
It's funny. My sister, who's a chemical engineer before she had kids, was like that too. She never got a B.
Mm-hmm.
She did not go to high school on Fridays.
She didn't need to.
She honestly didn't. She really didn't even need to go the rest of the days. She took every Friday off.
Why?
Didn't need to go.
How did they let her
She got
do that?
straight A's.
Yeah.
She never got a B.
But she didn't like going to school?
She hated it.
Oh, wow.
And I do too. I hated it. Let me tell you about school for me. I so loathed, because I can relate to Matthew in many ways. I so loathed sitting in the classroom. It was torture for me. And I would watch that clock, and I'd look up and go, oh, my goodness, it was 3 minutes ago. I just looked at the time, and it was only 3 minutes. And the way that I got through, it was like torture for me. I would pretend like it was a football game. And the first quarter, from 12 to the 3 o'clock would be the first quarter.
Uh-huh.
3 o'clock to 6 after, or, be halftime. So at the bottom of the hour, that was halftime. So I think to myself, it's halftime. We're halfway over. This game's almost over. And then, you get to the 9. It's like, oh, man, the fourth quarter's about to start. These are the kind of mental drills I had to put myself through to survive sitting through a classroom.
Okay, a couple things occur to me. Number one, you had a football problem. Okay? Number two, these are exactly the wrong kind of drills because all it did was draw your attention to that stupid clock and the hands going around.
It was so torturous.
Oh, my gosh. And you didn't act up, though.
Well, the principal and I were friends.
Okay.
We're
close.
Not the true definition of the word friend. We were acquaintances, I should say. 569-1080. 569-1080. That's the number. Glenn Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. Stay with us.
Nine 1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
Hi, this is Jonathan Martin with Harrington Company. I am looking for a qualified buyer with a 90% letter from his lender. I have a 3-bedroom, bath and a half, single-car garage with carport on a large single-family lot in East Anchorage. It is priced in the mid-200,000s. It needs only a little bit of TLC. Please call me, Jonathan Martin at Harrington Company, 244-0821. That's Jonathan Martin at Harrington Company, 244-0821.
Who was the last Alaska governor to see 16,000 new jobs created on his watch? Was it Wally Biegel? Shake hand. Bill Clinton? The last governor to see 16,000 new jobs is our current governor, Sean Parnell. Alaska is in the middle of a jobs boom. Since Sean Parnell took office, the Alaska economy has produced some 16,000 new jobs. And you can bet there are more jobs coming. Listen to Jim Huffman, president of a trucking company in Fairbanks.
This year we are buying new trucks, hiring new people. I could put 20 truck drivers to work tomorrow if we could find them. I give the credit to Governor Parnell.
Alaska's economy is back on track. 16,000 new Alaska jobs since Sean Parnell became our governor. That's why Parnell 2014. Box 100719, Anchorage, paid for this message.
Whoa.
The moment my son saw a redwood tree
It's huge!
is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing.
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give them a call, 569-1080. KOAN. You're on with Fagan and...
.6:17 in the morning. You're listening to what I believe is probably the fastest growing talk show in the history of, not in the history, currently in the state of Alaska. We're really, Stan Fagan, Glenn Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, we really are growing. And we're on 4 signals, which is pretty incredible. It's unprecedented. And do you feel it? Do you feel we get a lot of new calls every week?
Momentum.
Never heard of, yeah.
The Big Mo.
Yeah.
Although I think the Big Mo is your mortgage.
Getting a lot of response on Facebook, a lot of emails.
Yeah, you had 15 comments on your piece on KTVA on danfagan.us.
Yep.
I was, and then I put in the 16th one.
Well, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we're definitely in a good position here, and it's morning drive, which is when you want to be on the radio. It's the 4 different signals, FM and AM. I want to make sure that people understand, if you're listening to us 1080 AM and you're in Anchorage, man, you are robbing yourself. 95.1 is just going to blow you away. If you've been listening to us on 1080 all this time, if you switch over to FM and turn it to 95.1, you're not going to believe how much better we sound. And if you're out in the valley and you're listening on 1020 AM, flip over to 92.1, and you see that it's just it's an incredible signal.
It's quite a different. It almost sounds like a different show.
It really does.
That's how different it is.
It really does.
Even if you're listening and you're switching between signals, AM, FM, AM, FM, AM,
yeah,
and you'll just,
it sounds like different people.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it. I haven't tried it yet either.
Where do you what do you everybody?
1080 is when I'm in my car. It's 1080 because I think of talk radio as being AM.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't even go to FM but I need to because there's lots more presets for FM.
I wonder how common that is, where people just.
I'm pretty common. So.
You are common. You're a commoner. 569-1080. Don't worry about it, Brian. We'll just because now we got nothing. 569-1080. 569-1080. That's the number. If you wanted to join the broadcast, I was thinking about when you guys were talking about Matthew in school, and I don't know what my problem was, but to this day, because when you said Matthew doesn't like to play by everybody else's rules, that is so me. When I was a news reporter, my photographers would always freak out because when I go cover a meeting, I would go and I would not sit in the meeting. I would literally sit out. Like I said, there was a meeting on fisheries in the Marriott. And my photographer and I said, okay, get some shots in the meeting. So where are you going to be? I said, don't worry about it. And I'd go sit out in the lobby. If it was a nice day, I'd sit out. And I would refuse to sit in the meetings.
And I'm sure there's a reason for this.
Well,
you're building up to.
Well, I just don't like being confined. Now, I would at the end of the meeting grab the players, pull them in the hall, and I'd ask them anything I wanted. So most reporters would sit in that meeting for an hour and take notes, and basically they'd use the video from the meeting. But what I would do is I'd pull them out. I would just start asking questions, and then if people were inconsistent with their answers, you could double. You could go back on what about that? What about this? And I thought my stories were always much better because I was putting people on the spot. Whereas most reporters, they would just listen, and then they didn't have any way of holding the interviewee accountable because they just paid straight from the podium.
This is a great gift, though. And your great gift, the most important thing that you do, first of all, you have a lot of common sense. But you know really what the story is, and you're unafraid. And so it's far different than watching. And what I took from what you said was you didn't know what not to ask. You weren't aware, because most of the reporters are like, well, I'm on this side, so I'm not going to ask them this. Or, like the piece from KTVA yesterday. She could have gone out and said, is this good for our schools to become communist indoctrination camps and give everybody food? Is that a good thing?
We're talking about the story that Lauren Maxwell did on Channel 11. We put it up on danfagan.us. It will absolutely blow you away. Bartlett High and other schools are
East.
And East.
Bartlett and East.
Yeah. But at the beginning of the story, she said 30 schools. I didn't know if that was nationally or in Alaska or...
Oh, it'll be everywhere soon.
Well, she said at the beginning of the story, 30 schools are now.
Yeah, because service still feels different. The students at service are still not well served because they still feel different from each other.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
So Lord Maxwell did this story on the fact that Bartlett is now everything's free. Breakfast, lunch, even if you want to stay after school and get a meal. Everything's free. And she did it in a way that's wonderful. Everybody's so excited.
And it's free from the government, too.
And the one guy that she interviewed that really blew me away was, he had the title of nutrition specialist.
Oh, boy. Left-wing
fanatic. And then he said, well, this is wonderful. And I'm paraphrasing. Because now there's no stigma with the kids. Wouldn't it have been interesting, just a simple question for the guy, what message is sending children, giving them something that they don't have to earn? What how you would respond to that?
What does that teach them for life?
The idea that first of all, I was poor when I consider myself. I was Alaska poor. We didn't have a lot. I got a lot of hand-me-downs. Didn't have a lot of stuff. The idea that I felt some from that, or if I did feel stupid, that it wasn't an encouragement for me to do better in life. That's just wrong. I mean, this man does not understand anything about life. Life is about a struggle. A struggle between us and a lot of times our nature. And maybe our nature is lazy, or, we want to take the easiest path. The idea that you're going to go above and beyond, just as a regular matter of course, it's very unnatural. You don't find a lot of people who want to do that. If you could work 8 hours a day, and that's what you're paid for, but you decide you're going to work 9 or 10 hours a day because, look, I want to do a better job. That's a great employee, but it's not every employee. That's just not the way things are. So what this guy is saying is, my experience in life is not the experience that he wants other people to have. And that's very dangerous, because my experience in life was the American experience, where there were a lot of rich people who went to service high school, and I wasn't one of them.
But you were in service?
Yeah.
What did your dad do?
He worked for IBM. But no matter what you did, as long as you had 9 kids, you just weren't going to have a whole lot of money.
Okay.
You just weren't going to be. You were going to be like everybody else. It was a good job, but it didn't make you wealthy. It's not like we weren't eating, and that's, I guess, the other point here is these people are asserting without any facts, because I'd be willing to bet you that every single person who sends their kids to East or Bartlett could feed their children, that they've got enough money. A peanut butter and jelly sandwich. How much does that cost? A cup of milk. Honestly, it's impossible for someone to not have enough money, especially with all the food programs that we have. And they're talking about families of 4 getting $800 a month, which is more than I spend on food, in order to feed their family from the federal government. But what this guy's saying, the real problem that I have, the deepest problem that I have, is this man is changing people's experiences about what I thought America was for me, which is an inspirational place that if you decided that I want to live better, I want my children to have it better than I had it, and I'm going to work so hard, I'm going to overcome whatever obstacles it is, that's going to be my experience. I demand that America give me that experience. And so I go and learn that, and it changes my relationship with my kids, my relationship with my fellow man. It comes from a relationship with God. It's everything to me. And this man is saying, you are not allowed to have the experience that you had, Glenn Biegel.
You know what would be fascinating would be to take a Lauren Maxwell or the average reporter or the guy that was interviewed in the story from the school district and say, all right, here's your question. When the government grows, does the individual shrink? And if you believe that, explain why. What would they say?
They would say, well, it's not. It's more complicated than that. sometimes the government has to step in, and sometimes the government doesn't. But we look for times when the government can come in and really make a difference in people's lives. So I think they're not going deep into this. They're not seeing the fact that they have created a whole bunch of people for whom, where does food come from? Kitchen table. Does mom make me food in the morning? Does dad go out and earn a paycheck so he can put food on the table? No, he doesn't. Dad doesn't matter. My school official matters. My government matters. My government is who feeds me. And they're not looking at big picture stuff.
I thought one of the most brilliant things that I've heard you ever say, you said it yesterday.
Oh.
Because I remember when I was at high school that some of the kids, very small percentage, would get free lunches. And you said that we've taken a couple of generations to get from that point to everybody gets a free lunch. And that's a big deal.
Well, and that's what the story was about. It was all emotion, and you don't want one kid or a few kids using their cards, and people notice that they're using their cards to get the free lunch. So now everybody just has to use their ID card, and everybody gets a free lunch, and so everything's fair. We wouldn't want to make anybody feel bad. And,
I don't know. I don't understand any of this stuff about feelings.
And you're heartless if you feel otherwise.
I don't like the word emotion. Emotions are normal. It's okay to have emotions, but there's logic and there's truth and there's reality.
Yes, but we're making laws around emotion now. I mean,
about how people feel.
Look at this.
You guys are both Spock, both of you.
Self-actualization.
Look at this. No, look at this. Look at this shooting at the state fair that happened yesterday. The accidental shooting. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
I guarantee you now guns will be illegal at the state fair.
They already are. I think it's what the story said.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
You're not allowed to take guns to the state fair.
569-1080.
Really?
569-1080.
I think you can take them in there. You probably take them to your car.
Stay with us. 629. Stay with us. 629.
Thursday, high 50. Mostly cloudy for low 49. Friday, cloudy with a passing shower, high 61. Saturday, high 60. Hot talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.5 FM and 1080 AM.
Call 333-8000, 333-8000, 333-8000. Call us, Sister's Pizza. Call 333-8000, 333-8000, 333-8000. Sicily's back.
It's that time of year again. It's back to school time at Sicily's. We know you're busy, especially when it's back to school time. So Sicily's created the back to school special. Buy any large pizza at the regular price, get an order of 10 chicken wings at half price. Let Sicily's do the cooking and driving while you check things off your back-to-school to-do list. Take a break. Order Sicily's back-to-school special. Just call 333-8000. That's 333-8000. Or order online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Call 333-8000, 333-8000. Call my Sicily's Pizza.
When Alaska hunters get their moose or caribou, deer or sheep, they face a number of choices. The smart ones bring their meat to Herb Ekman at Alaska Sausage.
We have been processing game for Alaskans since 1963. I am very proud of the products we make.
Alaska Sausage makes wonderful breakfast sausage, foliage sausage, summer sausage, and the old favorites, moose-aroni and wieners, plus their famous hunter sticks, pepper sticks, or teriyaki sticks.
And each month we have some great specials like our classic pastrami. Our specials are always very popular. And a superior product starts with superior meat. That's why Alaska Sausage only accepts good, clean game meat that has been well cared for before it gets to us.
You know, there's a lot of hard work involved in bringing back your moose or caribou or sheep. A lot of hard work. So it only makes sense to take it where you'll get the best sausage and meat. Alaska Sausage, near the corner of Arctic and Benson. And our Valley customers can drop their clean boneless meat at Smoked Alaska Seafoods, where Alaska Sausage will pick it up and complete your order.
Just tell them Herb sent you.
This is Dr. Ellenberg. Are you tired of taking medications? Your medications create more side effects than solutions. Do you want more than 15 minutes with your doctor? If you answer yes to those questions, you should consider calling the Ellenberg Center for Natural Medicine. At our center, we take the time to listen and focus on finding the cause of your health problems. Whether you have a cold, high blood pressure, diabetes, or cancer, we can help. Call the Ellenberg Center for Natural Medicine at 563-2366 or visit us online at drellenberg.com. We can help.
Did you know that one of the state's premier medical facilities is located right in the heart of South Anchorage? Thanks to the Alaska Neurology Center, there's no need to leave Alaska anymore when it comes to treating the nervous system. You'll receive the best care at the Alaska Neurology Center for epilepsy, cerebral palsy, brain injuries, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's disease, multiple sclerosis, speech disorders, and they offer pain management as well. And if you're having trouble sleeping at night, the Alaska Neurology Center has the best sleep disorder experts in the state. They also have the most sophisticated MRI imaging technology in Alaska. If you need relief from stress or from migraines, relax in their luxurious spa. At the Alaska Neurology Center, their massage therapists are amazing. And they offer hydrotherapy, infrared sauna, hot and cold therapy, and shiatsu massage. And their medical spa also offers facials and waxing. The Alaska Neurology Center, located on Diamond and Old Seward.
Glenn Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist with Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
Hot Talk KOAN, man.
Harrington & Company, 244-0821. That's Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821.
Fagan and Biegel, weekday mornings from 6 to 9
a.m. 6:34 in the morning. Good morning to you. Welcome to the Dan Fagan, Glenn Biegel, Bonnie Cameron show. Big day out at the state fair, huh, Glenn?
Big day. Yeah, very successful. Although I think we ran out of money before we actually entered the fair.
That happens.
Yeah, I distributed all the money out. It was like, and there was no money left.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
What'd you have that was good?
We had some elephant ears. And I'm a very simple person. I just like corn dogs and Hawaiian shaved ice. I think I may have had more than the yearly recommended amount of Hawaiian shaved ice.
Eat mustard on the corn dog?
Yeah, mustard and ketchup.
And ketchup.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Loved it.
Did you get a turkey leg?
No, too expensive, $11.
So good.
What?
Yeah, $11.
That's
just
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did you go to the Raven Hall? And see the pillows?
No, I didn't. The problem was we all stayed together as a family the whole time, so there were certain places we just couldn't quite maneuver ourselves
in the Raven Hall?
No, the pillows are in the Raven Hall. I thought he'd go see the pillows that everybody seems to be liking.
There weren't all that many people with pillows this time, so it wasn't like an onslaught.
When we were there, everybody was walking around with those things.
Yeah.
Did you go to MA's Hot Dogs?
No.
Oh.
Where's that at?
I don't know. I mean, how do you describe where something is at the fair? By the booth.
By the booth.
Yeah.
Oh, we went to the petting
Toward
zoo.
the door.
We saw the enormous turkeys and all the. I think one of the cows had just had a baby.
Yes, Liberty had a baby. Not a baby. She didn't have a baby.
Okay.
She had a calf.
Had a calf. And so we got to see that. Pretty exciting.
We saw her the day before, and she was pretty uncomfortable looking.
Okay, so she hadn't had the baby then.
No.
'Cause when we were walking by, somebody said, "Oh no, she had the calf a couple of days ago."
No.
And I I thought, no.
was yesterday.
There's still
Mm-hmm.
calf stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Gross.
How much? Yeah, it's a little gross.
After birth.
Yeah, I don't really
Called
want to describe what was, but anyway, so I was pretty sure that the calf had just come out. I was pretty sure of that, and somebody said, no, the calf's a couple days. I was like, no, calf's still wet. There's other stuff going on here. Let's move the kids along.
No.
Now,
pretty much.
Bonnie, you just learned that the state fair does not allow the carrying of guns.
I'm a little mad. Yes, I'm kind of.
What would
it's
the
just
rationale?
one more thing.
What would the rationale be? Just because it's a crowd?
Because everybody's scared of guns now, and so let's just outlaw them.
So if there's ever a mass shooting at the fair, God forbid,
Yeah.
there'll be no one really armed to protect.
Well, I carry for my family, for myself.
How often do you carry a gun?
All the time.
On your purse?
Most of the time it's on me.
Really?
Yes.
You really are an Alaskan.
Sweet.
I'm not just an Alaskan. I'm just a
responsible Alaskan.
Yeah, I'm so tired.
Are you armed right now?
Not right this.
Because we've had some pretty heated discussions, and I think
that shouldn't matter. See,
I think I might have approached the
No.
topic a little differently had I known you were packing heat.
No, don't ever do that.
Glenn,
That's
do you
for
carry a
self-defense.
firearm?
No.
It's for self-defense.
Ever?
Mm-mm.
You own one?
Yeah.
How do you protect your children from it?
How do I protect my children from them?
Yeah, from it.
Oh, well, they're not stored. You don't keep bullets in the chamber. You actually have to know how to operate a firearm, and then you distract Matthew with all kinds of other things to play with.
Right. Well, we actually.
But, as the boys go through as they go through Boy Scouts, they learn gun safety there, and we take our kids to the range.
Yeah.
Here and there.
We do too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's it takes the curiosity away from it when you're there, and you teach them and take them to. Well, we don't go to the range; we go to a gravel pit, but
yeah.
We're cheap that way.
But the process of instructing your children it's very similar to the approach I think that you take to religion. Not that guns are a religious experience. It's just it's very important that they follow the rules, that they understand that this is important, that there's nothing to be missed here. This is not games we're playing, and all of that. So, and kids get that, pretty because there's just no fun and games around guns.
Brian, do you own a gun?
Yeah.
You carry it with you?
Yeah.
Most time?
No, not anymore. I used to a lot though.
Why would you used to, not now?
Because I was working with Eddie Burke.
And he has one. He carries
and he
one.
always carried his, and he was always like really hot-tempered. So.
Seriously? So you carried it to protect yourself from Eddie?
Well, yeah, not necessarily, but just in case.
No, because wherever Eddie was, the stuff could be going down, and Brian wanted to get in the middle of it.
Eddie was wearing one at his son's wedding. I have pictures of him dancing, and he's got a gun.
He open carries everywhere. It seems
No,
like.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
You honestly carried it because he carried it because you're afraid if he got mad at you, you'd have to defend yourself?
Yeah, he jumped up from the table and ran at me a few times. I didn't know what he was going to do.
Well, that's funny because, and I may have said this publicly, but the only gun I ever owned was because of Eddie Burke.
See?
He so hated me.
Yep.
At one point, I honestly feared for my life from him. Now, he's very different now. He's a very...
He does seem
He
very...
has
He
changed.
is a totally different person.
Yeah.
But I had never owned a gun in my life. And I thought, man, if he ever comes after me, because, he hated me. Big. No one's ever hated me like Eddie hated me. He used to do a show about me every day.
Yeah,
Literally.
every single day.
Every day.
Yeah.
He'd talk about me.
Now you've been replaced by Mark Begich.
Yeah, I suppose. But I really, and I'd seen him lose his temper a couple times.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I should probably go ahead and get a gun. And I just kept it in my glove compartment in my car. I never really carried it on me. One time in my backyard, and I lived up at Glen Alps where this is okay. I thought, I just fire this thing, see what happens. And I just shot it. I lived on the top of a hill that it was, believe me, it was fine. And my ears rang the whole night. Like, what was I doing? Why did I fire that stupid gun?
Ear protection.
Ear protection.
Yeah,
eye
well, see, I didn't know.
Not
And so,
just when you're at the range.
and then when I was going to leave Alaska, one of my buddies who was helping me with some of my stuff, and I said, "Now, what am I going to do with this?" And he says, "What?" And he said, You don't want it? I said, here, take it. I just gave it to him.
Yeah.
And so I'm not currently a gun owner.
Nice.
I wouldn't tell people that.
If you gave him the ammo, it could actually be worth more these days than the gun itself.
Is that right?
So true.
Well, yeah, because we've been in a shortage for what, 2.5 years
Well, they're
now?
shutting down all the lead plants. I think actually they're done. There is no more in the
But now,
U.S.
what do you think, Bonnie? I talked to some mining people up here about us producing our own
that would be
our own
awesome.
bullets, that we could mine everything. We could, we could just manufacture the whole thing right here, because we could take 1 billion rounds at least.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be great?
I'm really upset over this fair thing. I really am. I won't go back. I will not go to places that do not allow guns. I just won't, because I carry it with me all the time.
Man, you are hardcore.
Well, you know.
You make Glenn Biegel look like less
I
careful.
carried it at the fair the other day, and I didn't shoot anybody, and I didn't have an accident.
So you had it at the fair legally?
Yes. I guess so. I had it on me.
Well,
and,
they've got to,
and I'm not apologetic for it.
Well, they've got to put up signs because it is legal to carry a gun.
Yes, you can conceal. You can open carry here. Alaska is one of the few open carry states where you don't have to have a conceal. Even if you want to conceal, you don't have to conceal it.
569-1080 if you want to talk about
no permit
outlawing guns at the state fair. Is there signage out there? Has anybody ever seen?
It says in the story, in the Channel 2 news story, that there is signs posted everywhere. I haven't seen one. I even looked.
They don't warn you while you're coming in or anything.
No.
I've never seen one, and I've never seen them mention it. I imagine they don't mention it because it's in the middle of one of the highest gun-carrying locations on planet Earth, Palmer, Alaska.
I know the guy who heads up the state fair, Dean Phelps. He's a pretty left-wing guy.
Yeah.
Well, I've been at the fair enough times where I feared for my life and my safety.
Because?
Well, there's kids,
hooligans.
fighting. Yeah, there's lots of fights at the fair. People get out of control. Not just kids, it's, adults too. And I'm just so tired of feeling like I'm defenseless. And so that's why I carry all the time. It's all about protecting myself and my family. It's not about other people or...
You don't want to kill anybody just for fun.
No.
Not like a hobby of yours or anything.
No. I don't think I'll take that one up.
I don't know what it's like to shoot somebody or anything.
No. Most law-abiding people do not feel that way.
569-1080, 569-1080. That's the number. Stay with us. We'll be back. All right. All right.
Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
Do you own your own business? Are you thinking about starting one? Are you an employee who wants to get the job done the right way and move up the corporate ladder? Well, this is the show for you. Innovation, technology, and professional business advice you can use. Listen to Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt on Hot Talk KOAN 95.5 FM and 1080 AM every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Your small business resource with advice you can use.
Here we go again. More false, misleading attack ads from outsiders. The culprit? Mark Begich. Senator Begich is siding with his D.C. friends once again, supporting more negative ads from anti-Alaska outsiders, telling us what to do. Dan Sullivan stood up for us, telling the Washington special interest to stay out of Alaska. Sullivan proposed a plan to stop the mudslinging so this election could stay focused on the issues. But the Anchorage Daily News reports Begich refused to sign Sullivan's proposal. Mark Begich votes with Barack Obama 97% of the time. Now Begich is hoping that anti-gun liberals and anti-energy extremists from the lower 48 will buy this election instead of letting Alaskans decide. As our senator, Dan Sullivan will stand up for Alaska and fight back against Barack Obama and his D.C. allies.
I'm Dan Sullivan. I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Sullivan for U.S. Senate.
Your Ford service technician checks a lot of things to keep your car healthy.
Synthetic blend oil change, check. Tires rotated, check. Brakes inspected,
Check.
They keep your vehicle on the road with a thorough inspection.
Steering and suspension? Check. Battery tested? Check.
That always includes expert service.
Check.
On even the little things.
Belts and hoses? Check. Fluids topped off? Check. Wipers and lights? Check. All done by an expert Ford service tech? Check.
And you get a great deal.
Check.
Right now, get a $50 mail-in rebate with any Motorcraft brake service performed by an expert Ford service tech. That's $50, only at your Ford dealer. Taxes extra, rebate by prepaid debit card, pads or shoes on most vehicles, one axle, exclusions apply. See your participating Ford dealer for rebate details through 3/31/14.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel.
6:48 on this Wednesday morning, kind of rainy, cloudy day. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie, our number 569-1080. The folks over at Chugach Chiropractic, Dr. Myron Swigert and his team, Dr. Madden and others, they're all about enhancing the quality of your life, helping you live a pain-free life. Pain is something that we just accept. We don't have to, especially with today's technology. If you go see the folks at Chugach Chiropractic, you will be surprised at how your life will change if you're living in pain. A little adjustment here, a little adjustment there. We're not talking about surgery now. You know, a lot of people in the medical industry, they make a lot of money by putting you under the knife. Well, no, we're not talking about that at all. We're talking about natural solutions. Folks at Chugach Chiropractic have been helping people, too many to count, who used to be in pain and aren't anymore. Give them a call, 694-9224. 694-9224, Chugach Chiropractic. Again, our number, 569-1080. 569-1080. Bonnie is having a hissy fit because you can't carry a gun into State Fair. I find it fascinating. You know, you realize that if you two live in a very different world than a lot of people in America. If you were to plant yourself down in Los Angeles or Chicago or St. Louis or New Orleans or Miami or Atlanta,
Seattle,
and you were to begin to tell them that you carry a gun all the time, that would so freak out most people living in big city America. First of all, it's not an option for them, a lot of them, and they just wouldn't understand that.
I don't think that's true. I honestly think most average people understand that regular Americans are the most trustworthy people on the planet.
Regular Americans.
Regular average Americans. In other words, people who do not have a felony. People who do not have an anger management problem or are not beating their spouse or something like that. Or
you guys have never grown up in a big city. You've never lived in a big city. 90% of people that I grew up with in New Orleans, they had no guns.
It's true. When we were living near Bellingham,
yeah, nobody has guns.
People just couldn't believe it.
Alaska is very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that I had to go down there and get a concealed carry permit.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You're kidding? I thought I had that. It's called the Constitution.
Owning a gun and carrying a gun especially, maybe not owning one, but certainly carrying one. I think you find it in rural areas more. But most big city folk, that's just...
That's everything that's wrong with this culture right now. I'm so tired of it. It's if more people would be like me and just, carry, there wouldn't be the crime that there is. I mean, look at Chicago. They have the strictest gun laws there is, and they have the highest crime rate.
No, I'm not arguing against carrying a gun. I agree with you.
But most people would. I mean, you cannot believe the comments on that Channel 2 news story on Facebook. Everybody's like, oh, what was he needing the gun for? What an idiot. And, he's the idiot. But he shouldn't have shot himself. But
yeah, that's true. But let me read a couple of the sentences out of this piece because I guess
the Channel 2 story.
Yeah, the Channel 2 story. Because I guess I don't understand English, or this guy doesn't understand anything. But these are the sentences. Guns are not allowed at the fairgrounds. Dean Phipps, Alaska State Fair marketing director, said,
he's got a ponytail, so you know he's a leftist.
Said that signs are posted all around the entrances as a reminder of that rule. I've never seen them, but we'll just take that for granted. But here's the part that I just don't understand. We're pretty much a family event, Phipps says. Quote, it has nothing to do with the right to carry. It's just trying to keep up with our desire to have a safe event.
That's anti-gun.
Is that English?
No, that's anti-gun.
I don't think it's even English. I haven't gotten to anti-gun here. He just said it has nothing to do with the right to carry. Did I miss something?
We do, as Alaskans, we have a guaranteed right to carry.
But this is about
concealed.
the right to carry. It's about nothing else other than the right to carry.
Right.
I don't understand. What is he saying? Why does a left winger have to deny the absolute reality, the entirety of what this is about in his statement? That statement is exactly 180 degrees from the truth.
Because he doesn't understand why anyone needs a gun. So the government should control
that. So he just denies. He just
and he'll
flat
make
out
up his
denies.
own rules, I guess.
It has nothing. This is a specific quote from this guy. It has nothing to do with the right to carry. What does it have to do with?
Yeah,
then?
what does it have to do with then? If it's not the right to carry.
What is he talking about? Dan, explain.
He's taking my rights away.
One of my favorite series in the history of cinema is the Jack Ryan series, but written by Tom Clancy, who's since passed. And it's about the character of Jack Ryan, who, by the way, I think is Dan Sullivan in real life. And Dan Sullivan, the Senate candidate. And I was watching the latest Jack Ryan movie with my most unfavorite actor of all time, Ben Affleck, playing Jack Ryan. It was so hard for me to see this ultra left-wing communist play American hero Jack Ryan. And he was horrible in the role. So I'm watching the movie. I'm by myself. And it's about, I don't know, a third of the way into the movie. I'm cringing at this portrayal of Ryan. And all of a sudden, this fight breaks out in the theater. And there's a couple of guys on the second row who had been talking, and a couple of guys on the front row who got upset. And one guy turned around and just cold-cocked the guy in the second row.
Oh.
And then his buddy jumped and started, and they're literally fighting. There's like four guys now just swinging like crazy. And, people are screaming, and it's like, I'm up in the middle. I'm not even close to it. And then, they finally kind of pull away, and you're like, I'll do it, I'll do it. And they're young teenagers, right?
Okay.
And my only thought was, God, please don't let him have a gun.
Mm.
Please don't let him have a gun. Now, you can see how people who live in big cities, who see some pretty nefarious characters in their neighborhoods, and pumping gas, and at the local McDonald's, and at the Walmart. I remember one time I was in New Orleans. It was like 2 a.m. Two guys, and look, you can call me a racist. I don't care. Black guys, gold teeth, tattoos, gang uniform type. And they walk up to the cashier. They're in front of me buying, I don't know, $100 worth of bullets. 2 a.m. And I'm right behind them, buying my toothpaste.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm a human being. 95% of the murders in New Orleans are committed by black guys. That age, looking like that. You call me racist, that's reality. So this is the kind of thing people in big cities deal with. And it's not just black. All races commit crime. I'm not making it a race thing. But there's just a lot more crime in big cities. And you live in a big city, like I said, last year in New Orleans, 420 murders. 400. There's only 365 days a year. So somebody's shooting a gun every day in New Orleans, taking somebody's life. So you can see how people, like say in New Orleans or Detroit or St. Louis or Los Angeles, are thinking, we got to get these guns off the street, because that's all they see is these thugs using guns, killing people.
See, my thought, if I would have seen that fight in the movie theater, would have been, I wish I had a gun right now. Because if they...
You would have opened fire on these guys?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Because if they start pulling out a weapon and shooting other people, then I'd want to defend myself. That's the only way. It's not like I'd try to break up the fight with a gun. But if they had a gun...
So if they had a gun, you start pulling out your gun and you get a big gun battle in the movie theater?
No, but if they come up to me and threaten my life, then I'm not going to want to be defenseless.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see my point?
Here's the real issue that goes on here, and the reason why I honestly don't think you guys are having a conversation about the same thing. Because
let me clarify. I am not arguing against gun rights. I believe we should all be free to carry. I'm just trying to have you understand where people in big cities come from.
Right.
And really, it's not on the surface an irrational position if you look at it in their world and what they see in their world.
But how they feel should not affect my rights.
I agree.
Yeah. But most people don't. A lot of people would not agree with you.
Right.
Here's where I think people who are gun fanatics, and I think there are some people who are guns for people who are not believing that another person's life is sacred, are not a solution to anything. They're not going to solve anything. You add more guns into people who are violent or criminals or evil. They don't care about other people. They don't have a dad. They don't trust anyone. They're just looking for trouble. They're in gangs, whatever. You add guns into that situation, all it's going to do is make that situation worse. The foundation of our gun rights is the same foundation as all of our other rights, and that is this Constitution is sufficient to govern only a moral and decent people.
We'd love to hear from you. 569-1080. 569-1080. That's our number. Give us a call. 569-1080.
8,000.
It's that time of year again. It's back to school time at Sicily's. We know you're busy, especially when it's back to school time. So Sicily's created the back to school special. Buy any large pizza at the regular price, get an order of 10 chicken wings at half price. Let Sicily's do the cooking and driving while you check things off your back to school to-do list. Take a break. Order Sicily's back to school special. Just call 333-8000. That's 333-8000. Or order online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily.
Call 333-8000, 333-8000. Call for Sicily's Pizza.
KOAN Anchorage. It's not just talk, it's hot talk. 95.1 FM, 1080 AM.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. He's glad to be home, free.
I suddenly remember how good the American people are and what kindness they have in their hearts.
Journalist Peter Theo Curtis speaking publicly for the first time since his hostage ordeal ended. Fox News Radio's Jessica Gallagher has more live.
Dave, Peter Theo Curtis was held hostage in Syria by an al-Qaeda-linked extremist group for 2 years. The 45-year-old journalist making his first public comments outside his mother's home in Cambridge, Massachusetts, saying he had no idea how many people worked for his release.
I have learned bit by bit that there have been literally hundreds of people, brave, determined, and big-hearted people all over the world working for my release.
Curtis returned to the U.S. Tuesday, where he was reunited with his family. He was released by al-Nusra Front, a Sunni extremist group. Dave?
And Jessica, a 26-year-old American woman is being held hostage by ISIS, the same militants who beheaded journalist James Foley. She has not been identified. Another American, Douglas McCain, who radicalized, has been in Syria fighting alongside those Islamic militants. A military jet has crashed in western Virginia. The Pentagon confirms it's an Air Force F-15C. No report yet on the status of the pilots. They believe are en route. The deadly fighting in Ukraine has spread to another area of the country. Fox News Radio's Simon Owen, live in our European bureau.
Dave, pro-Russian rebels in Ukraine entering the town of Novoazovsk on the south coast, taking the fighting to a new region dozens of miles from most of the rebels' battles with Ukrainian government forces in eastern Ukraine. The town is just across the border from Russia and sits on a road that runs from Russia to Ukraine's Crimea Peninsula, which Russia annexed earlier this year after a disputed referendum, Dave.
Now, Simon, the economy is not booming. An assessment from the Congressional Budget Office predicts just 1.5% growth for this year, much less than the White House's 2.6% forecast. On Wall Street, the Dow's up 13 points. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
America was built by people with a few dollars and a dream. And while many don't know it, there's one path to success that still only requires a dream and about $10. That's right. If your dream is to start or grow your business, something as simple as the right business card could make all the difference. And today at Vistaprint.com, you can get 500 full-color business cards for only $9.99. That's right, only $9.99. Just go to Vistaprint.com and enter promo code 1818 and check out. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 1818.
Attention homeowners, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. We've told you about HARP in the past. There are so many more of you who could be saving hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. It's simple and easy. And for 4 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. To learn more, call 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
This is Herb Eckman with Alaska Sausage. I have some news for you hunters. Our specials this year include our famous bratwurst, pastrami, Polish hot dog. Our specials are always very popular, and I believe you're really going to love these. We have been processing game meat for Alaskan hunters for over 45 years. We know superior products start with superior meat, and that's why we only accept clean game meat that's been well cared for before it gets to us. Our traditional old-world recipes turn your carefully prepared meat into superior products. You will be happy to serve your family and friends.
Alaska Sausage, 2914 Arctic Boulevard. And for our Valley customers, there's no need to bring your game all the way to Anchorage. Now you can simply drop your clean, boneless meat at Smoked Alaska Seafoods in Wasilla, where Alaska Sausage will pick it up, complete your order, and bring it back to you.
Just tell them Herb sent you.
Hi, my name is Mike Ferris, president of Alaska Enterprise Solutions. We are the face of Xerox in Alaska. Xerox is a trendsetter, and AES Xerox is following in those footsteps. We are the document management experts, specializing in short-term rentals of copiers and scanners. We have offices in Anchorage and Fairbanks, and we are your Xerox professional agency with an Alaska focus and worldwide support. You can reach us at aesalaska.com or 561-5100.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player.
An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian.
A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way.
We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything, from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
What if buying your next car could actually be enjoyable? At Payless Car Sales, we believe it should be. If you're in the market for your next car, come by and meet our knowledgeable staff and explore our selection of quality vehicles. We offer military discounts, and we give all of our customers Carfax history reports. We can also provide warranties and handle all of your lending needs. Just like driving your car should be enjoyable, so should buying it. Visit us downtown at 919 East 5th Avenue or on our website at paylesssales.com. Payless Car Sales, where Alaskans drive.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning.
Welcome. There are thousands of styles to choose from, so hurry in to the Labor Day sale now through September 1st and find what speaks to you at Pier 1 Imports.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning on the talk.
7:06 in the morning, Wednesday morning. Our good friend Ali Sheik. Go see him. Go see him and check out all the vehicles he has in stock at Payless Car Sales, whether it's a truck, whether it's an SUV, whether it's a fancy car. Beautiful selection. All top quality, all reliable, all dependable. Ali would not sell you a car if he wouldn't sell it to his own family member. That's how Ali Sheik at Payless Car Sales rolls. That's how he's become the second largest used car dealer in Anchorage. He's now the fastest growing in Anchorage. He understands it's about trust. Look, let's be honest. You're gonna buy a car, you want to buy it from someone you trust. Let's be honest. Not everybody selling cars today is trustworthy. Go see Ali Sheik. Glenn Biegel and I can both vouch for him. He is a trustworthy guy. Payless Car Sales, 919 East 5th Avenue. 919 East 5th Avenue, Payless Car Sales. Our number, 569-1080. 569-1080. We'd love to hear from you. We've been talking about no guns allowed at the state fair. Bonnie's not happy about it. Glenn, you said that I said something on the air in the last segment that I probably will regret and want to take back.
Yeah, I do. I think, and this might be close, but I do think that you said something inaccurate. You said your most hated actor in Hollywood is Ben Affleck. Is that right?
I said Affleck, not Affleck.
It's not actually Affleck. That is the name of a company.
What's his name?
Affleck.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, that's what I said.
Actually, I think it said Affleck.
Okay.
Here is I cannot believe you dislike Ben Affleck more than Matt Damon. I can't personally believe that, and I want you to take that back.
I think Matt Damon's a pretty good actor.
But he is a far worse far-left extreme.
Oh, no. I don't dislike Ben Affleck because of his politics.
Okay.
Well,
that's what I got.
His acting.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't. Look, people, here's the thing, Glenn. Leftists are not bad people. They're just deceived. I'm not gonna not like someone because I love Ethan Berkowitz. I think he's a wonderful man. But he's deceived. These guys who believe this. I hesitate to use the word religion. That's what Dennis Prager calls it, but it's a belief system, leftism, and it's intoxicating, and it's seductive, and it draws you in because it makes you feel superior to everyone, including God. And it's enticing. I can see how people can get drawn into the spirit of leftism, if you will. It doesn't mean they're evil. Now, if they're allowed to promote leftism, evil will ensue, because I believe leftism is evil. But people who adopt it, they're fooled. They're deceived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see this in Ferguson. Perfect example. I think the White House sent more of its people to the funeral of Michael Brown than sent to the general who got murdered.
Or Margaret Thatcher.
Or Margaret Thatcher. I mean, and really, you're talking about the ability for people on the left to be deceived and what it is that draws them to it. They feel superior. I think that it establishes an enemy, and human beings always want to know who's the enemy, who we going to get. Who's the problem here? Because it ain't me. I know that. So who is
who's
the problem?
The enemy in leftism?
Well, you pick your enemy. A lot of people on the left, I believe, just like to make conservatives mad, and some of these people may be close family members.
I think the enemy that the leftist focuses on are people of faith, Judaism, Christianity, not necessarily Islam, but people who are. I think leftism pretty much centers around it's an anti-God. It's an anti-God thing. God should not have given us free will. What a mistake that was. What a clown town he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I just called God a clown town.
You were quoting someone else.
I was quoting.
Well, they pick their devils. Right now, there's a piece out about Begich and how well he does amongst women, and how poorly Dan Sullivan does, how well Dan Sullivan does with men, and how poorly he does with women. And I think a lot of that is driven by media sort of picking. Here is the person who's wrong. Here's your enemy. So you can treat them as your enemy, and that dehumanizes them, and that's a big problem.
I know.
I think on both sides, but
I know,
particularly on the left.
I know we're a radio talk show host, and this is probably rating suicide, but I got some bad news for people who enjoy political drama. The Begich race is over. He's down right now, and he's yet to be attacked by the millions of dollars Sullivan has. The Anchorage public, the Alaska public, has yet to get the full skinny on this man's record. And when Sullivan hits him in the mouth with his own record over the next, 10 weeks, 11 weeks, it's going to be a bloodbath. And you can all Begich has got is Dan Sullivan hates women. That's all he's got. Dan Sullivan's an extremist. He wants to take away your condom. That's all the guy's got. I'm telling you, it's over. Begich is done. He's one and done. Now, barring some major blunder by Sullivan, and fortunately, he's very disciplined in his message. Bonnie would say he's scared, maybe, but he's disciplined.
He has a right to be scared. We've seen what happened to Joe Miller.
Oh,
exactly.
There's no way Miller would have survived that.
Well, he might have survived this time because he's so much better as a candidate. I was shocked how much better he was as a candidate this time. I think you were too.
Oh, well, he was better. But
yeah.
So the Vegas thing, Vegas is done. It's over. Once Sullivan won that primary, it's over, man.
I totally disagree with you.
Me too.
I keep looking. I heard some pro-lifers who I guarantee these people have voted for Stevens. They voted for Murkowski. They voted for Young several times. Say, this guy Sullivan, he's not pro-life. He's got an exception for rape and incest, which, as far as I know, in the last 40 years,
they're not going to vote.
We've never even voted on that in the United States Senate.
So
what we do vote on are judges.
So they're not going to vote.
They're not going to vote.
They are voting. They're just writing in Joe Miller.
They're writing in Joe Miller. That's how. See, you talk about. Oh, this is over. There are a whole bunch of pride-filled people.
Pride.
It's
all about them.
It's all about pride.
About their pain.
It's about
their emotion.
I disagree totally.
And
100% about
pride.
them.
No,
it is not pride.
Total selfishness.
They have voted for Ted Stevens, and Ted Stevens wasn't
betrayal of country.
Near.
Once we found out how bad Ted Stevens was,
Once we
quit
found
voting
out,
for
come
him.
on,
you got
Don Young is nowhere near as pro-life as Dan Sullivan.
I quit
and
voting
all
for Don
these
Young
people,
years ago.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't. What I'm saying is all of these people who say, I won't do this, they have done that. They've done it 100 different times in 100 different races. Sean Parnell is no more pro-life than Dan Sullivan, and they vote for Sean Parnell too. Here's what drives me crazy. They are not being consistent, and that's pride. What drives me crazy, they are not being consistent, and that's pride.
There, give up 69-1080. Join the conversation.
A 9 and a 7. Add them all up. You're on with Fagan and sights you see when you get on board the 26th Glacier Cruise.
Discover glaciers and wildlife in Prince William Sound with Phillips Cruises and Tours. Choose our 26th Glacier Cruise or the Glacier Quest. Both include hot lunch, forced service narration, and no seasickness guarantee. Visit 26glaciers.com to book your adventure today.
It's 26. I said the 26th. The 26th Glacier Cruise.
Who was the last Alaska governor to see 16,000 new jobs created on his watch? Was it Wally Hickel, Jay Hammond, Bill Egan? The last governor to see 16,000 new jobs is our current governor, Sean Parnell. Alaska is in the middle of a jobs boom. Since Sean Parnell took office, the Alaska economy has produced some 16,000 new jobs. And you can bet there are more jobs coming. Listen to Jim Huffman, president of a trucking company in Fairbanks.
This year we are buying new trucks, hiring new people. I could put 20 truck drivers to work tomorrow if we could find them. I give the credit to Governor Parnell.
Alaska's economy is back on track. 16,000 new Alaska jobs since Sean Parnell became our governor. That's why Parnell 2014, Box 100719, Anchorage, paid for this message.
Hey, if you think all you need to know about beer is how to pop the top off the can, go to worldclassbeer.com. There's a whole world of beer out there, and worldclassbeer.com can help you navigate it. Learn the difference between an ale and a lager at Beer U. Get descriptions of all the craft beers and learn why they're so different. And when you see one you'd like to try, the Beer Spy Locator can direct you to the closest store. Worldclassbeer.com, designed to help you get closer to your beer. Brought to you by the Odom Corporation. Always drink responsibly.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080KOAN.com.
100719, Anchorage, paid for this message.
Fagan and Biegel. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m. on the Talk of the Valley. KVNT.
7:17 in the morning. Our friends Frank and Becky Earhart, their son James over at Earhart Roofing. They're all about putting in a roof for you that you can trust for another half century. Half century, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. You get a 50-year warranty with every roof installed by Earhart Roofing. It's a big business now. They used to just be a mom and pop deal, but they've grown so large because people have learned to trust them. They now have 17 trucks, 60 employees, 42 years in business. You're doing something right. It's still a family business, though. You find Becky in the office most days, Frank and James out in the field, along with their employees, working hard for you and your roofing needs, whether it's industrial, commercial, residential. Earhart Roofing. Give them a call. Here's the number, 345-5555. 345-5555. Earhart Roofing. Pride is such a deceptive thing, Glenn. It's so blinding. I've been so many times in my life, and I'm sure I got pride in areas right now that I don't even know. It is such a blinding agent because it's the opposite of a tender heart. It's the opposite of humility. It's typically based in anger. It's typically comes out of pain, resentment, frustration, the feeling of powerlessness. This is how pride gives rise in one's heart. And Joe Miller fans are hurt. They're devastated. These are people who love their country in a way that most of us can't even imagine. Most Americans go about their business just living their lives. Yeah, I'm an American. I love America, whatever. Joe Miller people, they love this country to the point when the national anthem plays, they tear up. When they see a soldier salute, they get chills. These are Americans at their core. And what happened to Joe Miller and his movement with Lisa Murkowski is tragic. It is criminal. It's despicable. It infuriates me to see the power structure, the native corporations, the judiciary here in the state, all the parties that came into play to put their thumb on Joe Miller and make the media and make sure that this man of freedom, this man who's closer to a founding father than anyone we've ever had run for office in Alaska, did not have a fair shot against Lisa Murkowski, who had big money special interests behind her. The people who were supporting Lisa Murkowski were supporting Lisa Murkowski because of what she could do for them financially. The people who supported Joe Miller were supporting Joe Miller because they love their country. They love their kids. They love their grandkids. It was a perfect example of good versus bad. And bad won. And now those people who were with all of their hearts wanting to see the power structure, the special interest movement that drives politics in this country, they wanted to see it defeated, and now they're devastated. So all of a sudden now, they're willing to let someone like Mark Begich, who will allow you to take a knife to an infant and slit his or her throat 2 seconds before you pull that infant out of the womb. They're allowing to let Mark Begich, a guy like that, advance his power and political agenda because they're so hurt. They're so devastated that they will not settle for anybody less than Joe Miller, which is a result in Mark Begich's and Harry Reid's continuing their power. And I understand it.
Well, in my mind, pride blinds us to the truth. The truth is that Dan Sullivan will have a 100% pro-life voting record when he's in the Senate. The truth is that Mark Begich has a 0% pro-life voting record.
He favors partial birth abortions, Glenn.
There's no abortion that he could care about. He does not care about them. He'll fund as many of them as he can.
Why is one abortion worse than another?
Why
is one abortion? You're talking about a guy who would be willing to go all the way up to almost labor and kill a baby versus a baby that's still a baby, even when it's just
You're
been
talking
conceived.
about a theoretical situation. Here, I just want people to be clear here. Our Senate has never voted on whether or not to make abortions illegal across the United States in case of rape and incest ever.
It's about the willingness to compromise from
They
Dan
will
Sullivan.
not do that. They will not vote on that. What they do vote on is whether or not, well, this is the problem with all of this. This is what pride is. Pride is it has to be your way. There's no other way other than your way. And whatever the reality of what people actually vote on, I don't care about that. I care about what I think they could vote on, even though they never will. They'll never vote on that issue. They will vote on judges who could overturn Roe versus Wade and send it back to Alaska so we could at least save a few of our children.
I realize that, and that's why I
Does
will
that not matter to
most
you?
likely vote for Dan Sullivan. I'm telling you, I see where they're coming from, and it's not pride.
It is pride.
It is not pride.
They'll never vote on it.
They
They've
don't
never
like
voted on
Dan
it. They
Sullivan.
voted 1,000 times for various candidates who do not meet their standard. Sean Parnell does not meet this standard. No politicians meet this standard.
Dan Sullivan made it to where Lisa Murkowski could beat Joe Miller. He made it that way.
Okay,
that was
well,
his decision.
Now you've totally changed from we're talking about the life issue. We're talking about
I'm not.
pride.
You guys are talking about pride and why
Okay.
people won't vote for Dan Sullivan. I'm telling you why.
Okay, well
It's for
that's a different
various
issue.
reasons. No, you're saying it's pride, and it's
I
not.
am saying
it's not just about the life issue.
all I'm trying to talk about here is just the issue where people said Dan Sullivan is not pro-life enough. That's all I'm saying. And that Dan Sullivan will have a 100% pro-life voting record, and Mark Begich has a 0% pro-life voting record, and we could overturn Roe versus Wade, which to me is a big win because I fought
You're
against
saying
this
it won't ever
for
happen,
13
though.
years.
You've said it won't ever happen. It won't
No.
ever be voted on.
What will never be voted on, I
talking about
want to
the
be
judges.
absolutely clear. What will never be voted on, what has never been voted on, what has never been considered as part of a pro-life voting record is whether or not you're against abortions in case of race, against abortions by the government in cases of rape and incest. You may be personally against abortions under all circumstances, but we've never voted on that. Not in the state of Alaska, not federally, nowhere. It doesn't exist. You're talking about a situation in which the government has never stepped in. It does not exist. You're talking about theory. I'm talking about reality. Roe versus Wade is a reality. The reality is we may overturn Roe versus Wade. That's what I'd like. That's what I'm fighting for. That's why I look for people who could be in the Senate, could be president, who will overturn Roe versus Wade. That's my care.
Do you think, both of you, that it could be that people just don't like Dan Sullivan as a candidate? And take Mark Begich out of it. Take him out of the whole thing. If people think
Why
that
take
Dan
Mark Begich
Sullivan,
out, though? You're setting up a scenario which doesn't exist. It's Dan Sullivan or it's Mark Begich. It's a person who will have a 100% pro-life voting record versus a person who has a 0%
well,
pro-life
these
voting
people
record.
might, yes, in the past have voted for Don Young, Lisa Murkowski, Ted Stevens, but there comes a point when a voter gets so tired of voting for these people and being disappointed by them when they get to D.C. that they just say, I'm not doing
Were
it
they
anymore.
disappointed by Frank Murkowski's 100% pro-life voting record?
I don't know. I'm just
I
saying,
don't- because-
there comes a point when people get sick of it and they just say, I'm not going to be a part of it anymore. I'm not
Well,
going
sick
to,
of
I'm not
what?
going to,
They're
not
going
gonna
to
give my
support
vote
Mark
to this
Begich.
person.
Okay, so they're going to support Mark
It's
Begich
not
so that abortions will occur. He will fund more abortions. We will continue with versus Wade. I totally lost I honestly don't understand. I'm trying for an incremental win where I can get it. Dan Sullivan will have a 100% pro-life voting record, and Mark Begich has 0%.
I was talking to a
That
girl
means something.
on the golf course about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and she voted for Joe Miller. You'll know who she is. I won't say her name. And she said, I was reading the book of Job a couple weeks ago. You know, the book of Job. Job's a guy in the Bible who lost everything, and anyway,
was tested by God.
Well, he wasn't. He was tested by Satan.
Yeah.
But she said, you know what I hate most about Joe Miller people? Is they act like what's happened to them is the worst thing in the world. And she said, what has happened to our founding fathers? What happened during the Civil War? What happened during men and women who were over in World War I and World War II? They have this victim mentality to them. And we just heard it. I'm sick of it. I'm just so tired of it. I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'm a victim. I've had enough. That's the Joe Miller, and Joe deserves responsibility for this in part.
Well,
he needs to come out.
He made his best case that he could, and I totally agree. Though what you're about to say is he's got to come out and say, "Look, I ran a hard case." No, not man up. I don't think that. Here's what I think is wrong about man up. By the way, what I think is wrong about man up is you're saying, "Look, give up your constitutional values."
No, be tough. Stop complaining about. I'm tired. I'm sick of it. You haven't done jack beep compared to what our founding fathers have done, compared to what people who fought in the Civil War have done, compared to people who fought in World War I and World War II. There have been great sacrifices on behalf of this country. And all you did is listen to the action. My guy didn't win. My guy, I really want him to win. I really want him to win so bad. And now he didn't win. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm going to let Mark Begich win because I'm just sick of it. Grow up! Grow the F up!
Be
Are
wise.
you kidding me?
Yeah. No, look.
Stop your freaking complaining. I don't want to hear your belly aching. This is the greatest country in the history of mankind. We've got to save it. It's not about you. And it's not about you.
And now, the Fox News Business Report, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Anchorage. The best or nothing.
From the Fox Business Network, the budget deficit for fiscal 2014 will be an estimated $506 billion, up slightly from the $492 billion projected in April. The Congressional Budget Office says the increase is based on lower than expected corporate taxes. The Budget Office also says the U.S. economy will grow by 1.5% this year. The Obama administration had predicted economic growth of 2.6%. TiVo reporting better than expected second quarter results thanks to strong growth in subscribers through its cable TV partners. And Time Warner Cable is telling Fox Business that its internet and on-demand services were largely restored early this morning following a nationwide outage. The company says the problem started during routine maintenance work. The incident came after the Federal Communications Commission said Monday that Time Warner Cable admitted to not filing network outage reports in a timely manner, violating the commission's rules. The company was fined just over $1 million. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Hank Weinblum.
Where in the world does your family's story begin? Find out for free this Labor Day weekend. Go to tryancestry.com to get free access to more than 1 billion newly released records from 67 countries, but only for a limited time. Anytime this Wednesday through Monday only. Search birth, marriage, migration, and death records from all over the world. Don't miss this opportunity to search absolutely free. Visit tryancestry.com. That's TRY Ancestry.com. tryancestry.com.
KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. The Wasilla City Council has postponed a decision on whether to ban ATVs within the city limits. The ordinance was proposed by advocates who said all-terrain vehicles had become a safety and nuisance problem in the city. Following this week's public hearing, local leaders decided to postpone a decision indefinitely. Tests are being done to see why hundreds of chum salmon died in northwest Alaska this month. Residents were concerned after hundreds of fish began washing up dead on the shores. Some had white welts on their backs. Experts believe it's most likely environmental, not toxic in nature. Anchorage schools have raised their meal prices, which was a requirement of the USDA. Breakfast now costs $1.90 in elementary and middle schools and $2.30 in high schools. Lunch costs $3.45 in elementary schools, $3.85 in middle schools, and $4.30 in local high schools. That's your Hot Talk News update.
Mostly cloudy skies with a shower in spots for today, high 60. For tonight, mostly cloudy skies with a brief shower, low 50. Clouds and sun with a passing shower Thursday, high 59. Thursday night, low 49. Friday, cloudy with a passing shower, high 61. Saturday, high 60. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.5 FM and 1080 AM.
333-8000, 333-8000, 333-8000. For West Westies Pizza call. 333-8000, 333-8000, 333-8000. Sicily's back.
It's that time of year again. It's back to school time at Sicily's. We know you're busy, especially when it's back to school time. So Sicily's created the back to school special. Buy any large pizza at the regular price, get an order of 10 chicken wings at half price. Let Sicily's do the cooking and driving while you check things off your back-to-school to-do list. Take a break. Order Sicily's back-to-school special. Just call 333-8000. That's 333-8000. Or order online at siciliespizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Call 333-8000, 333-8000. Call for Sicily's Pizza.
Did you know that one of the state's premier medical facilities is located right in the heart of South Anchorage? Thanks to the Alaska Neurology Center, there's no need to leave Alaska anymore when it comes to treating the nervous system. You'll receive the best care at the Alaska Neurology Center for epilepsy, cerebral palsy, brain injuries, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's disease, multiple sclerosis, speech disorders, and they offer pain management as well. And if they also have the most sophisticated MRI imaging technology in Alaska. If you need relief from stress or from migraines, relax in their luxurious spa. At the Alaska Neurology Center, their massage therapists are amazing, and they offer hydrotherapy, infrared sauna, hot and cold therapy, and shiatsu massage. And their medical spa also offers facials and waxing. The Alaska Neurology Center, located on Diamond and Old Seward.
Glenn, every once in a while you find a hidden gem right here in Anchorage.
You're talking about the Snow Leopard Boutique.
I am.
Owner Eileen Bear has an amazing eye for beauty.
For decorating ideas, it doesn't get any better than Snow Leopard Boutique.
They have 2,400 square feet of everything you need to beautify yourself and your home.
Glenn, I noticed a calming atmosphere the moment I walked in.
Dan, how about those chocolate truffles?
Yeah, and you can wash them down with a free latte.
The Snow Leopard Boutique.
At the corner of Tudor and Old Seward.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel.
On PFD News by liking us on Facebook. This message sponsored by the Alaska Department of Revenue and aired by ABA and this station.
Fagan, Biegel. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. The Talk of the Valley.
7:35. on a Wednesday morning, August 27th. Welcome to the broadcast. You know, there's an old saying, get wisdom. Wisdom is so valuable and powerful. And there are people who are wise in certain areas, like our friend Mike Daniels over at Country Financial. Mike and his team, they're very wise when it comes to financial matters, when it comes to getting you from where you are today to a worry-free, successful retirement. Go see Mike and a country representative, and they will put you on the path to a worry-free retirement. You know, we're all heading down some path, and the destination of that path is inevitable unless we change our decisions. And they'll ask you the right questions, Mike Daniels and his team at Country Financial, and they'll get you on the way you need to go to make sure that you have enough to enjoy your retirement with your wife and your grandkids, and all that hard work you put in didn't go to waste. Mike Daniels, Country Financial, the number 866-COUNTRY, 866-COUNTRY, and country is spelled
COUNTRY.
You almost didn't do it.
Woo. Thought about it. Wouldn't that be good payback?
569-1080. 569-1080. Todd, you're on. Hello, Todd.
Good morning. Hey, I voted for Joe Miller all 3 times that I could, and contributed money to his campaign in the past. I understand what Bonnie is saying. I disagree, though, that this is a matter of pride. I think it's a matter of principle. But, you know, Glenn has a great point, which is if you want to reduce the number of abortions in the United States, starting in November, your best chance is to not let Mark Begich get elected. And if you don't vote for the Republican candidate, you are making it easier for him to get elected. But I don't think it's pride. I think.
Well, Todd, I got a question about that. So if it's principle, these people have never had this principle before, either for governor.
I voted for Ted Stevens.
What about Don Young?
I have voted for Don Young.
Okay. My point here is
useful indiscretion.
No. I honestly do not think that's the case. I think you'll vote for Don Young again, and then if it was a close race, you'd vote for him because the principle here is you will vote for the greater good. And Don Young versus, I don't know, Forrest, whatever his name is, that represents your greatest opportunity for good to occur, for us to have resource development.
I won't vote for Don Young. I haven't voted for Don Young in a long time. I will not vote for Don Young.
Will you vote for Sean Parnell?
I have voted for Sean Parnell, and I will again. And like I said, I will also.
Will you vote for Dan Sullivan?
I will, and I'm going to.
Okay, well, see, then it's not a principle. Do you understand that the principles don't come and go? It's not based on race. If your principle is the only solution to abortion that I will accept is the federal government outlawing every abortion from the moment of conception, and that's the only person that I'll ever vote for. If that's your principle, and that's upon the basis upon which you vote, you're not voting for anyone in this election. There is nobody running. Maybe
Did you vote for George Bush?
Yeah, good question.
Okay, but I guess you need to explain to me then why it is pride.
Pride says the way I want it to be is the only way that it can be.
But that's not what I'm doing.
Versus, we're going to do the best that we can. I will accept the world that this is given. Frankly, I'll accept the country that my founders have given me. We didn't set this up as a dictatorship of the people. It's a representative republic with a limited constitution.
Right.
That's the way we set it up. So we have to get a majority of people together who say, this is the way I want to be governed. Not, this is my demands of what I want the government to do, and if it's not that way, then I refuse to participate. That isn't the government that we set up.
Right. I don't think we're disagreeing. I think we are.
Well, what do you think pride is? Because I'm looking for this too. I'm looking for the right words, and if pride's the wrong word for me to use, I don't want to use that.
I guess what I'm saying is that principle, I believe, is an excellent way to vote in a primary, but I don't think it's a great way to vote in a general election, because we do live in a representative republic. And we do have to get the best possible outcome based on who our choices are.
The greatest
good.
And
that's why I'm voting for Dan Sullivan, even though I'm going to hold my nose, It's not only the abortion thing. I think he is the most, of the three choices, he's probably the most establishment Republican in the three. And I'm concerned that when he goes there, because I do believe he'll beat Begich, that he is going to become another establishment Republican. I don't see him at the same level of Ted Cruz and I was going to say Rand Paul, but he's establishment now. So
has he? Well, he's fought for Alaska in various cases. Dan Sullivan has.
Well, a senator's not supposed to fight for their state.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you find those as instructional for what he'll do, or not instructional as for what he'll do? And I guess my question here is, because I really want to know who Dan Sullivan is. I want to know exactly who I'm voting for. I agree that there should be minimum standards that people are going to have to match, the greatest of goods. I mean, we've talked about all these things, but if who he has been is not who he's going to be, how do we decide who he's going to be when he's a senator?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
And because he is somewhat guarded and was in the primary, that concerns me as well. I really like the approach that Joe Miller takes. I think sometimes he's a bit crass and puts people off. I don't think he chooses his words very well sometimes. But for me, constitutional government, life, fiscal responsibility, these are probably the three most important things to me.
Yeah, Todd, I don't understand how we set Joe Miller up as the patron saint of conservatism when he has always praised ACEs. He never once has said a critical word about it. Yes, he voted no on one because you had to in a Republican primary. And yet he endorses Sarah Palin as his most inspirational leader, the most far-left governor we will ever have. And Joe Miller's the patron saint of conservatism, and yet Dan Sullivan is some kind of hard left-winger establishment guy? I don't get that, Todd.
When it comes to the Constitution...
Excuse me, I was asking Todd.
Oh, my word.
When it comes to the Constitution... No, I mean, when it comes to... helping Bonnie out there.
Thank you.
When it comes to the Constitution...
The last thing she needs is help.
Yeah, that's true. She's packing.
She didn't leave and come back. Did you go get your gun?
No.
Did you?
Stop.
We just had a big fight and she went and got her gun. I know she.
Stop it.
Brian, are you packing too? Because I need you to back me up.
Stop it. That keeps that mentality going.
You got some heat? You packing some heat? All right.
It's probably because you were screaming in the microphone.
Yeah, I know. I blew up my voice.
I'd drop off some blood pressure medication for you.
Thank you.
I gotta go, but let me just put it this way. Jesus is not running. And so since Jesus is not running, even though I'm a huge supporter of Joe Miller, I'm going to vote for Dan Sullivan. I encourage everyone else to, because we cannot have Mark Begich enshrined as our second senator. Lisa Murkowski is bad enough. We just can't do that to our country.
Thank you, Todd.
All right, bye.
7:44 is the time. Our number, 569-1080. 569-1080. We'll be back.
Call 569-1080 KOAN.
Today is the day you switch to Rite Aid for one simple reason. Wellness Plus, the card that gives you credits you can use like cash. Plus, discounts that only members get. Plus, 20% off almost the entire store. Plus, that's for a whole year. Plus, rewards that start today and pile on every time you shop.
World's most advanced.
We're tired of missing out on all the pluses only Rite Aid delivers? Visit RiteAidWellness.com to sign up and learn more today about Wellness Plus. Rite Aid. With us, it's personal.
Here we go again. More false, misleading attack ads from outsiders. The culprit? Mark Begich. Senator Begich is siding with his D.C. friends once again, supporting more negative ads from anti-Alaska outsiders telling us what to do. Dan Sullivan stood up for us, telling the Washington special interest to stay out of Alaska. Sullivan proposed a plan to stop the mudslinging so this election could stay focused on the issues. But the Anchorage Daily News reports Begich refused to sign Sullivan's proposal. Mark Begich votes with Barack Obama 97% of the time. Now Begich is hoping that anti-gun liberals and anti-energy extremists from the lower 48 will buy this election instead of letting Alaskans decide. As our senator, Dan Sullivan will stand up for Alaska and fight back against Barack Obama and his D.C. allies.
I'm Dan Sullivan. I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Sullivan for U.S. Senate.
Trail Boss Solutions is your local award-winning, nationally recognized construction and remodel firm. From handyman services to kitchen design and remodel to custom home construction, Trail Boss Solutions has the experienced professionals to take your project from initial design through completion, on time and on budget. Trail Boss Solutions is the only call for all your construction, design, and remodel needs. Please visit us on the web at trailboss-solutions.com or contact Trail Boss Solutions direct at 646-1403.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call, 569-1080. KOAN. You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning on the Talk of the Valley.
7:47 is the time. Welcome to Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie Show here on KOAN and KVNT. Our number 569-1080, 569-1080. The thing that folks don't understand is what a clear and present danger the Democratic Party presents to our sovereignty. They have been hijacked and taken over by the MoveOn.org hard left. There's no moderate left in the Democratic Party, not a one. If they are, they're powerless.
Well, they call Begich a moderate, and he votes with Obama 97% of the time. I mean, honestly. And he's not going to do a doggone thing about him trying to use the UN climate treaty, not even accepted by our Senate.
Lawless president.
Yeah.
Going to enforce his will on the people when it comes to climate change, when it comes to amnesty.
Well, this is what far left is. Far left means we get it done by whatever means necessary. And if the president needs to disregard the law and we're not going to do anything about it, if the IRS starts investigating and turning over the records of a presidential candidate, Mitt Romney, to his enemies, hey, that's just the cost of doing business. That is far leftism. That's what leftism looks like.
We will not survive as a nation if the Democrats are not defeated resoundingly. This is what Jerry Brown said Monday night while introducing Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto. He said, America is the other Mexico. Brown spoke about the interwoven histories of Mexico and California. He nodded to the immigrants in the room, saying it didn't matter if you had permission to be in the United States. You are all welcome in California. Do you understand the difference between a Dan Sullivan and a Jerry Brown? Difference between a Dan Sullivan and Mark Begich. The difference between a Dan Sullivan and Barack Obama. The difference between a Dan Sullivan and Harry Reid. You can't even see. It's so wide, the chasm. 569-1080, 569-1080. Bill.
Good morning, Dan. How you doing?
I'm well.
I wanted to correct Mr. Biegel on something.
Okay.
You, 17 months before the Marxist was elected to office, are the only announcer that ever came up and said, this is communism. Now, you guys are talking about being far left. No, it isn't far left. It's totalitarian socialism to undermine a democratic republic. And that's where it ends. This idea of who's moderate, not moderate. You want somebody that's going to protect the republic. And you were the first one to bring up Marxist. I don't know whether you remember it or not, because I talked with you that particular morning. And then it took almost 8 years for other people to even form those words. And this far left, far right, no. we do not want a totalitarian socialist society. That's what it is. And that's just all I've got to say, sir.
I appreciate it, Bill. You know, I really hate terms because people have emotional attachments to various terms, and they think this term works better than another term. That's why I always explain what I mean. You know, when I say left, I'm not trying to call someone a name. I'm not trying to belittle them or demean them or dehumanize them. There are people who truly believe that America is the same level of nation as a Greece, or the same level of nation as Spain, or the same level as level of a nation as Ireland. That we should make no more difference to the world than any of those countries. That they're just as great as we are. Those are people who are on the left who see equality is the end-all, be-all of all things. So if people think that, you know, using the word Marxism, which has such a strong connotation, it's such a negative thing. It is truly a dehumanizing term unless you're very careful with it and you use it in explicit circumstances where you're going to describe, here's what I mean by that.
Well, I think most people know what Marxism is.
I don't know, but most of the time, if you use the word he's a Marxist, you're really calling the person a name and saying you can't trust anything
Glenn,
he says, and he's not really a human being.
No,
that's what I think people
no,
hear.
Of course not. Look, Barack Obama's founding fathers were Marxists.
Yeah, true.
There's no disputing that.
Yeah.
The people he hung around with, Bill Ayers and others, they were true, avowed Marxists. His mother was a Marxist, joined the Marxist Party. So it's accurate, and it's not dehumanizing.
It's good to add all of that background for people so that because what a lot of people hear when they hear conservatives talk, they hear doom and gloom, and they hear name calling, and those are not productive things. They are not useful things
Well, most
for
liberals,
most people.
Liberals all the time say, I don't like labels, but labels are necessary. You have to be able to understand where someone's coming from. When Hall's French takes gobs and gobs of cash from the big labor and big environment wants to shut down the pipeline. I think it's important to say, well, Hall's French, if you're going to take all that money from big environment and then you're going to raise taxes on the oil industry where it shrinks the amount of oil going in the pipeline, I think it's legitimate to say, well, it seems to me that you're on board with big environment's mission to shut down the pipeline prematurely. Even though he denies it, I'm looking at his actions.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell me you love your wife, but if you go out and cheat on her 3 nights a week, I'm not really interested in what's coming out of your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as people, and this is the part of talk radio that's difficult, that I don't think people maintain well enough, and that is trust with the audience. That you're not just throwing around terms loosely, that you're trying to be honest, really trying to be honest. You're trying to be open and honest with people who are listening to you.
You talking about that post on Facebook yesterday? Is that why you're bringing this up?
No. I just think in general, this is why when people use Marxists and people use these harsh terms, I just want people to use, if they're used, they should be used sparingly and they should be used where they're very clear.
569-1080. Greg.
Hey, good morning, all.
Morning.
Hey, words are important, and you also need to package the message you're trying to deliver in a way that's palatable. I absolutely agree. And the last caller mentioned that we're a democratic republic. Well, we're not a democratic republic.
Constitutional.
We're a constitutional republic, and somebody might say, well, you're parsing words here. No, they are very important words. I can name any number of types of republics that are out there. There are several types. But a democratic republic, by definition, the majority of the people could change the doctrine upon which it was based. Our constitutional republic is not based that way. A majority of people cannot change it. That takes a specific process in order to amend the Constitution, as you well know, because I know you guys are pretty conversed on this. And by the way, everyone's aware of the debate tonight with Wendy Williamson, right?
Yeah, we were just talking about it. Bonnie's going to go there with her Mark Baggage button.
Well, I am still a person that wants to make the point to Dan Sullivan that he still has to earn my vote. He doesn't really have carte blanche here. I understand how important it is to get Baggage out there, but I think he would do well to talk with Joe Miller to find out, because Joe Miller clearly won all those debates from a large percentage of people's perspective, and try to get some pointers on how to debate, number one, but how to come down on some of the the topics that people like me need him
Greg.
to come down on.
Greg, if Joe, I'm for the largest tax increase in the history of Alaska, Miller, is such a wonderful, marvelous candidate, how come he got his butt kicked by Dan Sullivan?
Well, there was a lot of money come down, and elections have a lot to do with advertisement, Dan. You know that very well. I just heard an advertisement that Dan Sullivan just endorsed, so it was coming from his camp, that said he told the big money people to stay away in the election. Well, I guess he's talking about now. Well, he didn't say that before.
Yeah.
But look, I don't want to pick on Dan Sullivan. He's the guy on the right against Vegas right now. What I do want to do is encourage him to lean more towards the things that are important to me right now. And by the way, Dan, if you're going to pick on Joe, remember he's not running anymore, and you're the guy that always says you'd vote for Obama over Ron Paul. Well, I could argue all day long with you about that. I think that's one of the most ridiculous statements I've ever heard, and I say that sincerely as a person. I don't do that to demean you in any way. I respect you greatly.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks.
Well, here's the key for elections. Elections have to be additive, not subtractive. And Joe Miller people need to be made comfortable. There was a huge number. I mean, what was 32%?
They're a bunch of babies.
33%.
They're a bunch of whining babies.
No, they're not babies.
Grow up.
They have beliefs.
Oh man, I wish you won. I could say that to you.
I'd be singing Joe Miller's praises if he was the candidate.
Whatever.
What bothers me about it is, about the idea that it's one side versus the other. Dan Sullivan encompasses, if people would just open their eyes, he encompasses the values that you hold 90%
But I
of
wanted
the time.
Joe Miller.
I wish he would say that. I wish he would say that what you just said, Glenn.
I think that's what he's got to do. This is about the base. I'm much more worried about the base than trying to get any new voters. He's got plenty of voters who are going to vote for him and who will help him win.
I'm just tired
He's got to
of it all.
secure the base.
I'm just tired of being hurt.
I'm not going to participate in that.
That's right.
If it's
I'm
not
done.
my way, I don't live in a constitutional
Let Mark
republic.
Biegel ruin the country.
Let
I
him
don't
ruin
care.
the country.
I'm done.
Yep.
I'm hurt.
I've had it.
I've had enough.
I've had enough.
No more disappointment.
It's never been this
Let
bad, and
Vegas
it can
destroy
never
the-
get worse.
The nation I love.
And that's it.
Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
It's about me.
All done. I'm done playing. I'm done playing the game. I will not vote for evil.
I think we finally
will
got
not
under
vote
his
for
skin.
evil. I will not vote for evil.
She is. You haven't gun on you.
I'm surprised there's not steam
Do you
coming out
have
of my
a
ears.
gun on you right now?
I am not
Right
gonna
now,
tell you
you
that.
have a
that
gun
up, Dan.
on you.
Stop bringing that up. She's not
I
that
am
kind
a
of
there
person.
responsible gun owner.
Are there bullets in the chamber?
I am not going to answer that.
7:58.
I remember going to the cabin and camping as a kid. Good times with family and friends. Barbecues, river trips, rides on dirt roads. It was awesome spending time in the real Alaska. You know, I've made sure that my kids will have these same great memories. How about you? What will your kids remember? Are you getting out and enjoying the real Alaska? Making those lasting family memories? Do you know how easy it is to own your own piece of Alaska? Imagine a quiet, my kids will have these same great memories. Property just a short drive from Anchorage. One that has the stuff that memories are made of. You know, with over 45 years experience in the business, the Johnson family offers unmatched experience in providing recreational properties. Their flexible owner financing makes it easy and their properties are pristine. Isn't it time to start making your own family memories? Why not give the Johnson family a call today, 561-2257. Or do what I did, stop by their booth at the fair and find your own piece of Alaska. Johnson Investments, building memories for 45 years.
You're listening to Hot Talk, KOAN, Anchorage, AM 1080, and retranslated on 95.1 FM on K236CG, Anchorage.
Fox News Radio. I'm Chris Foster. An American journalist who'd been held captive in Syria is back home with his family and thanking everyone who helped get him there. Here's Fox News Radio's Jessica Gallagher.
Chris, 45-year-old Peter Theo Curtis, making his first public comments since arriving back home here in the U.S. on Tuesday. An overwhelmed Curtis speaking in Cambridge, Massachusetts, saying he had no idea how many people were involved in making his release possible.
I suddenly remember how good the American people are and what kindness they have in their hearts. And to all those people, I say a huge thank you from my heart.
The journalist had been held in Syria for 22 months. Curtis was released by an al-Qaeda-linked group, Al-Nusra Front. Chris?
No word yet on the pilot of a single-seat military plane that's crashed in western Virginia. Pentagon says the pilot was with the 104th Fighter Wing of the Massachusetts Air National Guard on a training flight to New Orleans. Smoke has been spotted on the side of a mountain. No injuries reported on the ground, though. As a ceasefire holds between Israel and Hamas militants in Gaza, a Hamas leader tells Fox they will not give in to Israeli demands to disarm. Live in Gaza City, Fox News Radio's Emily Wither.
Thousands have joined a Hamas rally here in Gaza City to celebrate what they're calling a victory. Ahmed Yusuf, a member of Hamas's political wing, told me they'll never bow to Israeli demands that they disarm.
This is not a legitimate, actually, demand, and since we are under occupation, then we have the right, legitimate right by the international law to defend ourselves.
He says they'll continue to push for a complete lifting of the blockade and their own sea and airport when indirect discussions are due to resume later this month. Chris?
Emily Wither in Gaza City. Thanks. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 13.5 points at 17,120. And you're listening to Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
America was built by people with a few dollars and a dream. And while many don't know it, there's one path to success that still only requires a dream and about $10. That's right. If your dream is to start or grow your business, something as simple as the right business card could make all the difference. And today at Vistaprint.com, you can get 500 full-color business cards for only $9.99. That's right, only $9.99. Just go to Vistaprint.com and enter promo code 1818 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 1818.
Attention homeowners, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. We've told you about HARP in the past. So more of you who could be saving hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. It's simple and easy. And for 4 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. To learn more, call 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender licensed law.
All right, Josina, the other big story with the Rams, they have roster cuts later today, 4 o'clock Eastern. They have to get that roster down to 75, and there's been some interest as to whether or not Michael Sam has.
We take the time to listen and focus on finding the cause of your health problems. Whether you have a cold, high blood pressure, diabetes, or cancer, we can help. Call the Ellenberg Center for Natural Medicine at 563-2366 or visit us online at drellenberg.com. We can help.
Paid for by Alaskans for Malat.
$1 billion deficit.
Parnell's turned down funding for me.
Roster cuts later today, 4 o'clock Eastern. They have to get that roster down to 75, and there's been some interest as to whether or not Michael Sam has played well enough to make that top 75 and then eventually the final 53. How is he fitting in with his Rams teammates so far?
Well, Jay, defensive tackle Kendall Langford said that Michael Sam is simply
Representative offers helpful advice on everything, from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Glenn Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist with Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
Candidate Barfu hiss. Someone doing Shakespeare probably isn't going to serial kill. You could call it sit. How about nah? Listen to us 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday right here on KVNT 1020 AM 92.5 FM.
Fagan and Biegel, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m. on the...
All right, welcome back. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie, 8 to 6 in the morning. Glad you're here. Our number 569-1080. One of the things that we try to do in this broadcast is we're not afraid of any topic. We're not politically correct. We don't care about people being offended. We say what we believe to be is true, right?
Yes. I love it.
You know, this guy, Michael Sam, who is the first openly gay NFL player. ESPN, by the way, which ESPN makes New York Times look like the Drudge Report. ESPN, these guys are very left, the hierarchy at ESPN, very left-wingers, big time. And now ESPN is saying that it regrets the Michael Sam shower report that drew criticism. After it found itself at a storm of criticism over a report on the shower habits of Michael Sam, the first openly gay player in the NFL, ESPN Wednesday morning issued a statement. ESPN regrets the manner in which we presented our report. Clearly, yesterday, we collectively failed to meet the standards we have set in reporting on LGBT-related topics in sports. I think it's absolutely a legitimate news story. If you had an NFL, if you had a kicker, let's say a woman who could kick the ball 55 yards, and you put her into the team, and she's the only female team, is she going to shower with the team? Of course not, because she's a woman, and the rest of the team are men. Now, I'm not a homosexual. I've never been a homosexual. I've never been tempted to be a homosexual. But my understanding of homosexuals is they are attracted to their own sex, to the point where they want to have sex with their own sex. So, to me, it's a legitimate story. If you're going to, anybody who's played football knows that you shower with your team. And most people shower naked.
Most people.
Yeah. So, to me, that's a little legitimate story. Now, in a politically correct world, oh, no, you can't talk about that.
Yeah, you got to check in with the left wing so that you can find out whether or not you can speak. And then they'll tell you, okay, well, you can speak, but you can only speak this way. These are the words you're to use. This is how you're to present the story. And it's not like we're telling you how to do your news story. We're just telling you whether they can do it or can't do it. And you're like, well, I don't understand.
The thought police.
Yeah. So did they think that this wasn't a legitimate story after they did it?
Well, they got, the thought police at ESPN, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the report. Let's listen. This is the report on ESPN.
As to whether or not Michael Sam has played well enough to make that top 75 and then eventually the final 53. How is he fitting in with his Rams teammates so far?
Well, Jay, defensive tackle Kendall Langford said that Michael Sam is simply just one of the guys, and he seems to be taking a rookie approach in terms of just listening and learning at his own pace. He said that you can tell he's just trying to feel his way through and perhaps see what guys he can relate to. But another Rams defensive player told me that, quote, Sam is respecting our space, and that from his perspective, he seems to think that Michael Sam is waiting to kind of take a shower as not to make his teammates feel uncomfortable, while Langford and linebacker Alec Ogletree told me that they didn't know that specifically and also weren't tracking that. Now, while Langford told me, listen, I have not been in the shower at the same time as Michael Sam, He said that there definitely could be a million reasons as to why that is. He said he could be doing extra work on the practice field, he could be riding his bike, he could be doing extra cardio. But overall, Langford said he seems to be adjusting to the life in the NFL and the speed of the game, adding this quote, "If he doesn't make our team, I'm pretty sure somebody will definitely pick him up on another team. He has shown some flashes." And quick note, the Rams are not making Michael Sam available today as previously planned. And the St. Louis Rams, as all other teams in the NFL, have to get their rosters down to 75 players today by Eastern, Jay.
All right, that's the deadline. It could happen.
So that's the report that is so highly controversial, that ESPN has suffered a firestorm of criticism from, especially on social media. Anybody offended by anything in that report?
Well, it sounds like Michael Sam, that's his name?
Yeah.
It sounds like he's doing the right thing. You know, one of the things that we're called to do is not make other people uncomfortable. You know, that essentially we try to treat everybody as a guest. And that's really what he's called to do. It sounds like he's doing the right thing. I mean, they should be highlighting, here's a guy who's doing the right thing. You know, if he's sexually attracted to someone, he shouldn't be showering with them if that makes them uncomfortable, which is a rational, normal thing to do. I guess it would be called homophobia, though. Is that what...
In the politically correct world, it would be.
Yeah, because I always thought homophobia was, you know, if you're just generally worried about gay people just in general, not the fact that you're showering with them, because that's a different situation. That raises it to a different level, and I don't know. I don't think there's any homophobia in that, but it sounds like he's doing the right thing. It sounds like Michael Sam is treating this appropriately and making sure that he's not being confrontational with his own sexuality in places where sexuality obviously would be at play. When you're naked in a shower with a whole bunch of other men you find attractive.
It was just an uncomfortable story because it went from, you know, talking about Michael Sam and his playing ability to all of a sudden a shower scene.
But that's the story.
Right.
The guy's attracted to dudes.
I think that it's just an uncomfortable thing to talk about. It was a little uncomfortable to listen to, actually.
Was it icky?
Well, a little bit. And
but to criticize ESPN, or for ESPN to apologize.
Yeah, that was a little
for
ridiculous.
covering what everyone's thinking.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you're gay and you're going to go into a locker room with a bunch of dudes and shower together? How's that going to work?
It's kind of personal.
But you can't even talk about it. That's the story. That's what everybody's wondering.
So who was so upset over it? Was it leftist
All the
groups
leftists,
or?
Yeah, you know, the social media commentators.
Thought police.
Because I'm
police.
thinking of my son sitting there watching an ESPN story or something, and it just kind of makes me uncomfortable as a mother to talk about it. We all, you know, maybe we know as adults that that's a factor, but I don't want my kids to be thinking about the shower scenes, you know?
You know, I remember Sharon Lehal and I got into this. She said, "Oh, you're a homophobe, Dan." You know, Sharon.
You got a name call.
And I don't even know what homophobe means. I guess it's you're afraid of gay people, or you're afraid you'll become
Well, phobia
gay.
is afraid of something, right?
So what? You're afraid of what then?
I guess you're just afraid of gay people.
Like they're gonna hurt you or attack you or invert you.
They're icky, I guess. I don't know that they're not. And basically, when
I like Islamophobe is a legitimate phobia because they decapitate people. It's
That's
okay
true.
to be an Islamophobe.
And gay people don't decapitate people.
No, they don't. 814-569-1080 is a number. 569-1080. 814 is the time.
Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at KOAN.com.
letter from his lender. I have a 3-bedroom, bath and a half, single-car garage with carport on a large single-family lot in East Anchorage. It is priced in the mid-200,000s. It needs only a little bit of TLC. Please call me, Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821. That's Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821.
Who was the last Alaska governor to see 16,000 new jobs created on his watch? Was it Wally Hickel, Jay Hammond, Bill Egan? The last governor to see 16,000 new jobs is our current governor, Sean Parnell. Alaska is in the middle of a jobs boom. Since Sean Parnell took office, the Alaska economy has produced some 16,000 new jobs. And you can bet there are more jobs coming. Listen to Jim Huffman, president of a trucking company in Fairbanks.
This year we are buying new trucks, hiring new people. I could put 20 truck drivers to work tomorrow if we could find them. I give the credit to Governor Parnell.
Alaska's economy is back on track. 16,000 new Alaska jobs since Sean Parnell became our governor. That's why Parnell 2014, Box 100719, Anchorage, paid for this message.
I'm Scott McMurrin, and when it comes to travel in Alaska, I've talked the talk and walked the walk for more than 25 years. I also wrote the book on Alaska travel, so now you can see and save on more of Alaska than ever before. For the top 2-for-1 offers in Alaska, get your Tour Saver now at Cars Safeway or go to toursaver.com. So get cracking, because these Tour Savers sell out fast.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and
became our governor. That's why Parnell 2014, Box 100719, Anchorage, paid for this message.
Fagan, Biegel. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. The Talk of the Valley. KV.
All right, welcome back to the broadcast. 8:17 in the morning. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. Ali Sheik over at Payless Car Sales is waiting for you to come by and visit him. He's prepared a beautiful lot of vehicles for you. Trucks, cars, SUVs, all top quality. Really nice vehicles. Ali describes Payless Car Sales as an entry-level luxury used car dealership. And really, it's about the cars, and it's about the customer service. No pressure. You're not going to have a salesman hound you. They're going to treat you with respect. They'll answer your questions. They know their inventory in great detail. That's why Payless Car Sales and Ali Sheik is the fastest-growing car dealer in Anchorage. Go see them over on East 5th Avenue. Payless Car Sales, 919 East 5th Avenue. Just Google Payless Car Sales. Tell Ali Sheik that Dan and Glenn sent you. He'll give you extra special treatment. 8:18 is the time. Our number, 569-1080. 569-1080. Let's go to Brad. Brad, you're on.
Hi there. Hi, Dan. This is our first meeting, and, you know, every relationship begins somewhere, so I guess yours and mine begins here.
All right, Brad. Well, nice to talk to you.
Well, the main reason I'm calling you this morning, I woke up early and I got to researching our gas line actually, the one from Russia to India they're working on, and then I was really pleased to see that they're having difficulties with the one that China is financing to build from Russia into China due to the sanctions that we have with the United States on Russia. That's putting a crimp in their style, but, you know, I'm thinking about that customer, and the customer is all important. We need to have that customer when we build this gas line, and I'm going to be working on that. But, you know, Dan, the main reason I wanted to call you this morning, and I feel uncomfortable with it, is I searched for a lieutenant governor candidate so I can work on a write-in. The number one best suited candidate to help our state would be Sarah Palin. I've had great difficulty trying to get her because, you know, she's very popular these days and very busy woman.
Not in Alaska.
I'm sorry?
Not in Alaska.
Well, you know, she represents our state, and I know this woman because I asked her to run originally in 1998 when I filed my first time to run. I did not run. I fell out of that race. I pulled my name off it because I was in the hotel business at the time. And wow, it's a lot of work, both being in the tourism industry and.
Well, Miss Palin has about 65% negatives in Alaska right now. I don't know if you want to pick her as your running mate.
Well, I want to tell you why. I would take my chances with her because I'll tell you what, she has a lot of good that comes with her. You know, I kind of kicked off Mr. Biegel a couple of days ago when I mentioned Democrat. You know, I'm kind of a bipartisan person, although I'm a capitalist, and I chose the Republican Party because I do believe in capitalism over socialism.
But you went to see the Democrats to see if they could help you fundraise.
Negative. No. I'm seeking a good candidate for lieutenant governor.
Well, Brad, you ran for governor already and you lost?
Well, I ran. Yeah, this particular time, yes.
Well, would you ran as a Republican on the Republican ticket?
Correct.
And you lost to Sean Parnell?
Yes, I did.
And now you're going to run as a write-in?
Absolutely.
And you think you can beat anyone as a write-in?
Absolutely.
Well, how do you figure?
Well, I figured this way. I received about 8,900 votes, which is not bad for a poor man. You know, I had no team. I had no money.
Yeah, but Brad, if you only got 8,900 votes and your name was on the ballot, what makes you think you're going to get more than 8,900 votes with your name off the ballot?
Well, the difference is this time I'm going to build a team, we're going to raise money, and we're going to cover the state.
So you're the eternal optimist.
Well, I guess you could say that. I'm definitely optimistic. I look to the future, and I have great faith in a positive future.
Well, good for you, man.
Well, it's supposed to be good for it's supposed to be good for everybody.
It's good for the heart to be optimistic.
Well, not just that. You know, I hear people say, "Good luck, Brad," and you know what I think? It's good luck, Alaska. You know, I believe with Brad Snowden, all of us win.
Brad, I appreciate your call. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dan, one other thing, though.
Yes.
I did leave my phone number and my email with your radio station so that if she wants to talk to me, this is a face-to-face. We need to have a face-to-face conversation. And I can take no...
Why don't you and I go to Hawaii for a week together?
Well, how about China? Because I plan on going there next month.
Nah, I want to go to Hawaii. I want to go to a beach.
Well, maybe you can stop up and...
How about the election? You and I go to Hawaii for like a long weekend, like a Wednesday through Sunday deal.
I'll do it, Dan.
All right, Brad. It'll be fun.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye.
That sounds like a mandate.
You know, Brad did say something that I believe is very true.
That he'd be a great write-in candidate?
No. He has no prayer. He said Sarah Palin is a good person. I do believe that. You know, I know sometimes, like our friend Bonnie.
I'm about to get whiplash here, by the way.
Sometimes you get frustrated with people you admire. Like I admire Bonnie. You know, I love people who love their country, and you know, they're going to do anything for it. You know, but sometimes she frustrates me.
And you never frustrate me.
And then Sarah Palin's the same way. You know, I know she loves her country. She wouldn't put herself through all that she puts herself through with all the criticism and there are people in this country who think, honestly believe Sarah Palin is more evil than Adolf Hitler. They don't suspect that. They know that in their gut. And they honestly believe that.
Mm-hmm.
You agree with that, Glenn?
Oh, yeah.
That people believe that.
Well, David Letterman, when he attacked her children on air, you know, a good example of somebody who sees Sarah Palin, big threat.
Too many examples.
Islam, no threat.
Too many examples to say. So, you know, you look at Sarah Palin, she's very courageous. She'll say anything. Like Bonnie, our friend Bonnie, saying that Joe Miller has a better chance of beating Mark Bacon. She said that publicly. That took courage, because a lot of people would think, well, you know, there's something missing there by saying that. But you didn't care. You said what you believed. And Sarah Palin's the same way. Like when she said the stuff about the death panels, everybody thought, whoa, that, you know, she's crazy. She's a little nuts. Well, guess what? There were death panels.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, made its way into amending the death panels in the Obamacare stuff.
Yeah, he said, I believe Obama said, there are no death panels. We just took them out.
Right. Exactly. I'm not. Yeah, that's very true. So you admire people like that, and it does. I do believe when I look at Sarah Palin and I see this obsession with the oil companies. It's almost like your obsession with Dan Sullivan. And it's like you with Sean Parnell. As I spread accusations everywhere, and I have stuff too. Well, frankly, one of my obsessions is Sarah Palin. I have to work constantly on not
bringing her up like you are now.
No, not bringing her up. Not criticizing.
Okay.
Her. Looking at her fairly, and that's what I'm attempting to do here. We all get things in our craw that skews our judgment, and there are times when Sarah Palin does things where most people would go, wow, that's really good. A guy like me will wait and go, I don't know. Okay, it was good. Because I have something in my craw about her. There's a history there.
Mm-hmm.
And like you and Dan Sullivan, you being Bonnie, Glenn, you and Carol Como or Sean Parnell.
Carol Como is a better example. I'm over Sean Parnell.
I don't think you are. You sat there in Sullivan's restaurant and told me you were going to vote for Bill Walker for governor until I blew your head off.
Well, yeah, but the problem was that Bill Walker turned out he had lied to me about something very, very significant about who finances pipeline projects, and you just can't tell people falsehoods because he said it on air. He said it on my air.
Yeah.
When I was on a different channel, I was on KBYR. So that was a big deal.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But my point on Palin is, she is a spectacular human being with a great heart. But like all of us, one of the things in her craw is this thing about the oil industry. That she loathes the industry, and it could go back to Frank Murkowski and Marty Rutherford and Tom Irwin, and
how she got into office was a big part of who she is. And she got put into office essentially to say, I am here to strip away power from the oil industry who created the corruption. And she's wrong on that, but that was her view on it, and she's following it to the letter.
Yeah. So but Brad, possibly our next governor, Brad Snowden, I thought he was accurate when he said that Sarah Palin's a good person, and that's why he wanted her as his running mate. And I think she is a good person, and I still believe, and this right now, Val Henning, who listens,
oh really,
she will fall off her stool when she hears me say this. But I still believe that Sarah Palin could be our president, and be a fantastic one. She has the talent, the gifts, and intelligence and drive. I think it's still possible.
Mm-hmm.
That just as when you take a person, if they have one thing that's sort of hanging them up, and I agree that the oil industry really hangs her up. That a lot she went down the wrong road a lot of times just because she had this "don't let the door hit you on the way out" attitude. That it's us versus them, and that if you remove that out of the equation, she becomes really a different person with different motivations, with different views, with different outcomes, with different things she's looking for. Because when she speaks to the nation, when she speaks on Fox News, when she lets people know this is the way our country really should run, this is what's best for her people, she's right on.
Yeah.
Well,
she knows exactly what she means.
That's how she became so popular on the national stage, was because she took down the bad players, and that's how they introduced her to the nation, was somebody who came in Alaska and cleaned house. So she keep that up, I think. And she can't back down off of it.
She got a reputation to uphold. Unfortunately, it's a reputation that harms our relationship with our number. Reputation.
Yeah, I think you had Q in there.
Reputation.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to talk like you.
569-1080. 569-1080. 8:29 to time.
City Council has postponed urging about the whether to ban ATVs within the city limits. The
weather is next.
Mostly cloudy skies with a shower in spots for today, high 60. For tonight, mostly cloudy skies with a brief shower, low 50. Clouds and sun with a passing shower Thursday, high 59. Thursday night, low 49. Friday, cloudy with a passing shower, high 61. Saturday, high 60. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.5 FM and 1080 AM.
Chris here along with my buddy Brock. That's right, we're here to tell you to tune into The Beer Show every Saturday at 5 p.m. on 95.5 and 1080 KOAN. The Beer Show is brought to you by Brown Jug Alaska, Eagle River Ale House, Great Artisan Beverages, and the Odom Corporation. Please drink responsibly.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Attention men, do you keep your mobile phone in your pants pocket? Well, a new study says this may not be a great idea. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN's chief medical correspondent. A recent study from the University of Exeter suggests that cell phones could actually have a negative effect on your sperm quality. The researchers' review looked at findings from 10 studies that included almost 1,500 samples. Now, compared to a control group, the percentage of the men's sample showed that normal movement dropped by 8% among men who kept their mobile phones in their pocket, and their ability to survive also decreased in about 9% of the samples. Now, scientists say that the individual risk for sperm damage does depend on how long a man keeps his phone in his pants and also how much electromagnetic radiation the phone is actually emitting. There is an easy solution to all this, though. Use a wired earpiece and keep your phone in your desk versus in your jeans. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Many allergy sufferers believe the myth that all OTC allergy medicines work the same. The fact is, Nasacort Allergy 24-hour nasal spray works differently and comes with a satisfaction guarantee. Unlike antihistamines that target only one of the body's chemical responses to allergens, Nasacort stops more to relieve your worst nasal allergy symptoms. And if you're not satisfied with your relief, Nasacort will give you your money back guaranteed. Learn more at nasacort.com. Use as directed. May take up to 1 week of daily use to feel the most symptom relief.
The Lumber Liquidators Fall Flooring Kickoff Sale is on with over 250 of the latest styles all on sale now. Get Black Forest Oak Laminate for a crazy 39 cents a square foot. Beautiful and durable bamboo for just $159. Classic pre-finished gunstock oak hardwood for $149. All gorgeous Bellawood pre-finished hardwood is on sale. Plus get special 24-month financing. Go to lumberliquidators.com today to find the store nearest you. Hurry, this sale ends Tuesday. The fall flooring season is here. Why aren't you?
Did you know that one of the state's premier medical facilities is located right in the heart of South Anchorage? Thanks to the Alaska Neurology Center, there's no need to leave Alaska anymore when it comes to treating the nervous system. You'll receive the best care at the Alaska Neurology Center for epilepsy, cerebral palsy, brain injuries, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's disease, multiple sclerosis, speech disorders, and they offer pain management as well. And if you're having trouble sleeping at night, the Alaska Neurology Center has the best sleep disorder experts in the state. They also have the most sophisticated MRI imaging technology in Alaska. If you need relief from stress or from migraines, relax in their luxurious spa. At the Alaska Neurology Center, their massage therapists are amazing. And they offer hydrotherapy, infrared sauna, hot and cold therapy, and shiatsu massage. And their medical spa also offers facials and waxing. The Alaska Neurology Center, located on Diamond and Old Seward.
What if buying your next car could actually be enjoyable? At Payless Car Sales, we believe it should be. If you're in the market for your next car, come by and meet our knowledgeable staff and explore our selection of quality vehicles. We offer military discounts, and we give all of our customers Carfax history reports. We can also provide warranties and handle all of your lending needs. Just like driving your car should be enjoyable, so should buying it. Visit us downtown at 919 East 5th Avenue or on our website at PaylessSales.com. Payless Car Sales, where Alaskans drive.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give them
Community needs you. Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Alaska National Guard, aired by the Alaska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning.
8:35 on a Wednesday morning, 27th of August. Our friends over at the Alaska Neurology Center, it's Alaska's premier medical center when it comes to neurological disorders. They do it all, folks, and they're right in the heart of South Anchorage. No longer do you have to get on an airplane, go to the lower 48 to get the very best in care when it comes to neurological disorders. The folks at the Alaska Neurology Center also will help you with sleep at night, get a better night's sleep. The technology these days is amazing. If you don't sleep well at night, they can help you out. Alaska Neurology Center. They're in the old Borders bookstore right there on Diamond and the old Sword Highway. Give them a call. Don't continue to go through life tired and groggy if you can't sleep at night. Give them a call, 565-6000. 565-6000. Time 8:36. Is that him again? Okay. 8:36 is our time. 569-1080. You know, Bonnie, you know because you've listened to me for years. Glenn, you know because you know me. Truth to me is such a big deal. Truth is power. Truth sets people free. Truth liberates. Deception enslaves. Deception, things that aren't true, if you follow them as though they are true, bad things will happen. You agree with me on that?
Yes.
What was that all about?
Sometimes I wonder if it's truth as you see it.
Well, I'm not.
I know that there's absolute truth.
Right. I'm not talking about truth as I see it. Truth.
Okay.
Truth defined as being true, not whether I think it's true. Truth is true whether I believe it or not. My participation in truth is irrelevant as far as what truth is. And that's really kind of where the left comes from. Everybody's truth is true. There are no absolutes. There is no truth. And that's why the left really doesn't care much about truth, because they don't even believe it exists. Am I right?
As a universal principle.
As a universal principle.
Mm-hmm.
If it feels good to you, do it.
That's true. Yes.
Okay. So truth in and of itself is so powerful. And that's one of the things that is so devastating about the thought police and the politically correct movement, because the politically correct movement says, the hell with truth, we will say what does not offend. And if it offends, then it can't be true. And that brings devastating consequences. And we were talking about Michael Sam, the gay football player in the NFL. The ESPN is getting all this heat because they reported on his shower habits, which is a legitimate question. How does a guy on a team of 60 men who's attracted to men, how does he get ready for practice every day? Does he go in there and shower with the 59 other men? Just like if there was a female kicker, would she go in there and shower with the 59 men? Of course not. Why is it not also legitimate to say, well, what does he do? And to his credit, as Glenn Biegel pointed out earlier, Michael Sam's credit, he has withheld from showering with the rest of the team as to not make them feel uncomfortable. I think that's noteworthy and honorable, right?
It's appropriate. That is what you should do. You should not try to offend people or make them uncomfortable.
Right. Now, the truth of the matter is, for me, this is true because I know it's true because it's experience. If I experience something, if I put my hand on a hot stove and after 2-3 seconds I say, that is hot, that's true that that's hot to me, right? Because it happened to me. I experienced it. I have a little sore on my finger. I can prove to you. For me, when I see, not that I ever really see it, but even the thought of two men kissing or having any kind of physical interaction that would normally be only between a man and woman, I get, as we used to say as kids, grossed out. Now, that's just true. I can't hide that. Just as if I saw a 75-year-old man making out on a park bench with an 18-year-old girl, that would disgust me. I cannot regulate what disgusts me and what does not disgust me. It's just something that's built inside of me. I suppose over time, if I had a 70-year-old man and a 21-year-old friend and they were always making out, I guess over time I can get used to it. I don't know that I could, but that's just true. Now, what I just said is highly politically incorrect, especially the gay part. But it's true. I am repulsed, disgusted by men having physical contact that is normally reserved for something between a man and a woman. Now, the thought police would say you can't say that.
Yeah. Here's the part where I get worried about this is the left, and Begich is a good example of this. Prop 5 was something that he fought for. That was a proposition put before the city of Anchorage. And basically it said that what you feel your sexuality is, no matter what it is. You want to wear a dress in public, you look like a guy except for you have a dress on and high heels, that's perfectly fine. You can't fire somebody. They got to work in the front of your Dairy Queen or whatever, wherever you are, Carl's Jr. or McDonald's, whatever. That you're not allowed to judge people based on that idea about how it is that they feel sexually, and that in public is no problem. Where this goes is things which should be offensive, and a lot of people, like the gays who are down in San Francisco, when they do their parade where they're whipping each other and they're wearing chains and leather and doing all kinds of just absolutely crazy, outrageous, offensive public demonstrations, you will not have, if Mark Begich is allowed to continue and the left is allowed to continue this jihad, you will not be allowed to be offended by things that are obviously offensive. And that's where we're really headed.
I don't understand the word offensive, because I'm not offended, I'm disgusted. What's the difference between the...
Well, most of the time offensive, like when the gays are doing it down in San Francisco, they're really trying to offend Christian people or decent people or normal people. That they're out whipping each other and wearing chains and leather, and they're all dressed up in all these crazy sexual outfits for the purpose of, I want to offend you, and what I like about that, you can't do anything about it.
I don't even know, what does the word offend mean? Maybe I don't understand. Because when I look at that, it's like, oh, that's nasty. I don't want to see that. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
What does offend mean? I guess offend would be, like, I had a guy, Thomas Higgins. Not Thomas Higgins. Some far-left French candidate once. He was on the show, and he starts talking about our U.S. military. It was during the time of the Iraq War. And he said that our U.S. military is as bad as Nazi Germany. They kill innocent people. And that offended. That made me furious.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that would be offensive.
Yeah, that would be offensive.
So you see, I don't get offended at the gay stuff. I don't get offended by a couple of guys with their butts showing, whipping each other on a float. That does not offend me.
Okay. It offends me because I've got children. I've got to figure out how to keep my sons decent so that they believe women are this amazing, infinitely valuable creature for which they could never earn the right to be a mate.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, and as a father, it probably is a different perspective. But I am disgusted by it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess offended and disgusted is largely the same thing.
I don't think so. There's a big difference.
It could be because some people are offended by just normal conversation, or I guess there's a lot more gray area maybe.
For example, if two guys wanted to be together sexually, that wouldn't offend me. But if they started doing that in front of me, it would certainly disgust me.
Okay, well, then disgust is the right word for you. But you are not going to be allowed to be disgusted by this stuff in public if the left is allowed to continue.
Exactly. 844.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Give them a call. 569-1080. KOAN.
Call 333-8000, 333-8000, 333-8000. Call us Sisley's Pizza. Call 333-8000, 333-8000, 333-8000. Sisley's.
It's that time of year again. It's back to school time at Sicily's. We know you're busy, especially when it's back to school time. So Sicily's created the back to school special. Buy any large pizza at the regular price, get an order of 10 chicken wings at half price. Let Sicily's do the cooking and driving while you check things off your back to school to-do list. Take a break. Order Sicily's back to school special. Just call 333-8000. That's 333-8000. Or order online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Call 333-8000, 333-8000. Call for Sisley's Pizza.
Trail Boss Solutions is an Alaskan-owned, nationally recognized top 500 construction and remodel firm. From our handyman services to our award-winning kitchen design and remodel, Trail Boss Solutions is fully licensed, bonded, and insured, and has the experienced professionals to take your project from initial design through completion on time and on budget. Please visit us on the web at trailboss-solutions.com or contact Trail Boss Solutions direct at 646-1403.
An important reminder from the Permanent Fund Dividend Division. The August 31st submission deadline is fast approaching. Visit pfd.alaska.gov and click on My PFD Info and check your current application status and review required documents. While you're there, add or change your UA College savings or pick, click, give contributions. Keep current on PFD news by liking us on Facebook. This message sponsored by the Alaska Department of Revenue and aired by ABA and this station.
Hot Talk KOAN, man.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080KOAN.com.
Running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Sullivan for U.S. Senate.
Fagan and Biegel. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m. on the Talk of the Valley.
$8:47. Wednesday morning, 27th day of August. Raining out there, out in the valley and Anchorage. Supposed to rain all day. Of course it is. It's the Alaska State Fair, right?
It was beautiful yesterday when I was out there, and it was great for Michael W. Smith when you were there on Monday.
It was.
Rain tomorrow.
It had just gotten blue skies.
High 61, but Saturday, sunny.
Oh, big day.
65 for a high in Anchorage.
Going to be packed.
Half of Anchorage will be out at the fair.
Oh, huge.
Yeah. Boy, those pigs are fat.
And stinky.
Huh?
And stinky.
They were a little ripe.
And it was so sad that the one is not going to be giving birth. Like everybody goes to the farm exhibits to see the pig that just gave birth to all the piglets, and it's not going to give birth until the end of September.
What?
I'm a little bummed. My kids were really bummed.
Get this taken care of?
Can we not find a pig that's about to produce quickly?
C-section.
You miss out on so much in life being childless. I've never thought about, I'm going to miss out on the birth of a pig. That's never crossed my mind.
Well, when we got home that night after the concert, my little girl said, "Mommy, that was so good. I was really encouraged." And for an almost 9-year-old to say that.
Encouraged about what?
About Michael W. Smith's concert.
Oh,
she
because
really
he was uplifting?
Yes, she was very encouraged and uplifted, yes. And I thought that was sweet.
He who spreads hope will be the most influential.
Well, there was a lot of hope.
There's so much hopelessness in the land.
He said a lot of good stuff.
Did he?
Really hit me.
Obama was all about hope and change.
Yeah, well, Michael W. Smith talks about love. There's a lot of hurting people out there, and you just gotta love them. Jesus loved them.
You need to love me more.
I know. I feel the same.
Instead of being so rough with me and treating me poorly.
Okay, so I have to tell. Last Friday after the show, I went home and my little
honestly,
girl.
You're gonna tell this?
I am. My little girl said,
Quiet over there, Dan.
"Good morning, Mommy. Did he yell at you today?"
Poor Bonnie.
I love
All
it.
right. All right.
I'm the
Virtual
victim.
group hug. Come on, everybody. we can't move
You-
away from our microphones.
You
Go ahead. Let's
understand
get a
it's
hug going on.
talk show.
Well,
It's
I
a
understand.
debate
Yes.
talk show.
And you know, we yell at each other, and then it's fine. Like 3 minutes later.
No, I'm still bitter.
It's like a family.
Okay, I'm fine. 3 minutes later.
Did I miss something? I was out Friday, wasn't I? Or was I? No.
I don't remember.
No, I think you were here. Maybe that was one of the days you were drinking heavily.
Yeah, those I can't remember all of them, but I suppose.
He's drinking, we're smoking, whatever.
It was a Long Island iced tea.
No, that was the day we had a steering in. That was
Yeah,
the week before.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the week before.
They all run together after a while. When
Yeah,
you're
he
just
missed the
yelled at
cigars.
constantly.
Now,
No.
here's the thing, Bonnie. Here's the thing that, and I've dealt with so many of these people. I've dealt with so many Bonnie Camerons in my life.
Uh-oh.
No.
No,
Never.
you never
Here's the
have
question.
dealt with a Bonnie Cameron.
No, actually,
other than this
Unique.
one.
You know, everybody thinks, oh man, I can't wait to be on radio. I'm going to be a celebrity. People are going to know who I am. And you probably, people have not yet come up to you in droves yet, but that's going to happen. And then all of a sudden you realize, hey, you know, this is kind of work. There's some effort to this, and it's not just about glamour. Is that beginning to settle in a little bit? The whole, you're on radio.
It has not, because I go home and I'm just mommy and wife and, daughter.
You do seem like the type of person who would not be affected by celebrityism.
You know what I'm affected by?
What?
The political aspect of it. I go home and I can't stop thinking about what we talked about. So and my mom says, you're useless to me now because you're just thinking about the subjects.
All the years I've been on the radio, I should have had a homeschooling mom as a co-host years ago, because I've had many homeschooling mom callers.
Yeah.
They listen to talk radio during the day. They're very engaged and passionate.
Yes.
Any mother who's going to take the time out of her life and school her children herself, like your wife does, Glenn, that's an exceptional human being. It's not easy. It's probably one of the hardest things in the world to do. And so it's the perfect talk show host, because they're going to be engaged in the process, the political process.
They got to transfer on all that information. So they have to know what they think, why they think it, and how to teach it to somebody else. I mean,
Yes.
all the elements that make good talk show.
My homeschooling friends are just some of the most knowledgeable women that I know, and they are so involved politically and in world matters. People don't get enough credit, that's for sure.
What do you make, Bonnie, as a woman, this assertion that Mark Begich has, that if you're not pro-death culture, you're anti-woman?
He is just using that, and I see through it. But I think a lot of women do buy into that, and they think, oh yeah, he's right, And honestly, sitting here, and some of the things that come out of my mouth, I can see why people think the way they do about people on the right. Because the stuff we say sounds really heartless, but it's realistic, and it's constitutional. And, you have to go back to things that just make this a good nation. And the things that, I disagreed with you earlier when you said it's not about emotion, that I think that the world revolves around people's emotions now. We'll have a law made because some accident happened. We'll have a law made for every little thing that happens. And
they're ruining hundreds of children's lives a year by giving them free food, stealing that responsibility away from parents, the time away from parents, and their understanding they need to work for what they get, and that food doesn't come from the government. They're stealing all that away for just a few people's feelings, and it's not even their real feelings. It is the inferred feeling that somebody might have about, and
you're talking about the fact that Bartlett High
and East
and other schools now give free meals to every child in the school.
So that some of the kids, in the way that the administrators of this program think, some of the kids don't feel bad because they have a card to be able to get food that they could not otherwise pay for. They're inferring, and then they're destroying. And that is all about emotion. It's all about emotion.
Kids will come out of Bartlett and East and think they're entitled to these things now because they've been raised that way.
When I went to the airport a while back recently, I took a taxi cab, and I had done the story on the Dan Fagan show on KFQD, how much the school district pays paying for taxis for kids to go to school. If you're a child and you live with your parents in one school district or one neighborhood, and then you decide to go live with your uncle or your nephew or somebody else in another part of town, the school district will pay for you to ride to work every day in a taxi. And the guy who I was taking me to the airport was telling me, yeah, he does that all the time. And he said he just can't believe it. He said, I'll go every day, same house, pick up the same kid, take him to school, and it costs a fortune. But it's like if you move, you're entitled to free transportation, and they don't have a bus running from one neighborhood to that school
across town.
Right.
Well, the real difficulty I have, by the way, about what Bonnie said is that when you talk about emotion, you're not helping people. The heartful thing to do is not to hand out free food at a school.
569-1080, 569-1080. Sharon, you're on.
Hi, Dan. Like I guess you said, my name is Sharon. I work for a millennial advocacy group that's kind of getting its feet wet in Alaska right now.
A millennial advocacy group?
Yes, a millennial advocacy group. So we focus on like 18 to 34-year-olds and basically try to get them interested and involved in economic and political issues.
Okay. How do you do that?
Well, we try to do it in ways that are fun and a little bit more interesting than just doing like lectures or forums. So we do a lot of like happy hours, or in some states we're doing pool parties to, I guess emphasize.
You don't do pool parties in Alaska?
Well, we might. It's a possibility. We're looking into it.
Are you? Where do you get your funding?
We have it from quite a few different donors.
Private sector or government?
Private sector, 100%.
Okay.
What are the top 3 issues for millennials?
Top 3 issues, actually, largely, a lot of millennials are interested in Obamacare and how it's going to hurt them in the long run. That's one big issue we focus on. Student debt and the government's involvement in it is another one. And then just overall, kind of just government overreach are the 3 big things that we've heard from Alaskans especially.
They don't have to wait long for Obamacare to hurt them. From my understanding is a lot of people are getting part-time jobs these days.
Oh, yeah, and it's especially hurting millennials because the jobs that are open to us are usually the ones that can't afford to provide that extra health care, and so they're cutting jobs for that are the jobs that are most open to my generation.
Sharon, are you here in relation to the Senate race?
I'm sorry, am I what?
Here in relation to the Senate race?
We don't really focus on elections, so for us it's more of a long-term battle. So no matter what really happens in this election, we just really want to focus on economic freedom.
What's the name of your group?
Generation Opportunity.
Send me an email.
Okay, I will. And actually, for your listeners, I have something that they can get involved with right away.
Real quick. You
Yeah?
there, Sharon? Go ahead. We're almost out of time.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we are doing a 72-hour push, and we're actually in our 2nd day of that. And youth unemployment, which is right now at 11.3%, and call their senators and their elected officials. And
Well, Sharon, you know what? We're out of time, but I appreciate your call. Folks, we'll see you tomorrow at
Okay,
6 a.m.
thank you.
Have a good day.
And that. And that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in to Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Be sure to catch them every weekday morning from 6 to 9 a.m. on the Talk of the Valley, KBNT, 92.5 FM, 1020 a.m. And online at 1020.
Like Mother's Day. Bill's Gift Shop on Specking Road has a truly incredible selection of unique creative gift ideas, crystal, glass, and china, and flatware.